The Z to Z Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Z to Z Podcast, the home for Xbox achievement hunters and gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Brandon Freeman. Thank you so much for listening. At Z to Z, we love gaming, and in particular, grabbing achievements and gaining gamerscore. We do news, reviews, and interviews. If it's about achievements, we'll unlock it. The 52nd episode means that we've released a year's worth of content, and those of you that have been with us from the beginning, thank you for your patronage. Those of you new to the show, thanks for giving us a chance. And this week, we talk about the new, easiest way to grab 1,000 gamer score. Gameinduntry.biz brings out its People of 2016 list, Gamers Edition. And Ubisoft just can't get Vivendi off its back. At least it could ditch some stocks in a remarkably opportune time. You can find show notes for this show, as well as previous shows, on our website, z2z.com. This is episode 52. You can also contact us with questions and comments on Twitter, at Z2Z, ZEDTOZED, all one word. You can come over to our forums, forum.z2z.com, or of course, email us directly, contact@z2z.com. Today's show is brought to you by the achievement Better Luck Next Year in the game WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. As we certainly hope for continued success in the next year, the same can be said about your own goals and aspirations for 2017. As for this achievement, it couldn't be simpler in concept. This secret achievement asks you to be the first superstar eliminated in a 30-man Royal Rumble. Joker HD on the TA solution recommends using Rey Mysterio due to his more diminutive size in comparison. Get the crap beat out of you until they throw you out the ring. You can really see the parallels here, can't you? Special thanks to developer Ukes and publisher THQ. And if you, our fantastic listeners, have a suggestion for an achievement sponsor, let us know. You can contact us via Twitter at Z2Z, ZEDTOZED. Come chat with us at our Discord channel, discord.me/Z2Z, all one word. Or, of course, there is that email, contact@Z2Z.com. You know, you could even leave it in a podcast review post. I can't even talk tonight. What we didn't mention, or I want to mention here at the top of the show, a couple of things. So, the constant struggle between 100 duck-sized horses. I always screw this thing up. 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck. Well, whether or not you can come up with a mental picture or a decision in your head, there is actually a game out there, and you can try your luck. It is from Congregate, and the link will be in the show notes here. It's called Super Duck Punch, and you play as like a 50s style, one of those like fisticuff boxers with the big old handlebar mustache, and you can pick who you want to fight: 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck, and then you just beat the tar out of them. Now, I opted for the 100 horse-sized ducks. No, that would be terrible. 100 duck-sized horses. And they swarm you like you wouldn't believe. You have to be quick with your punches, jabs, and uppercuts. I did manage to survive. My combo was not great, but I suggest you all give it a shot and have some fun with it. It is great. The other thing I wanted to touch on is my friend feed. I had asked, hey, if you have time to finish Energy Cycle, you have time to leave a comment for the podcast. And we got some good-natured ribbing in here, and so we're gonna set the record straight here. Keith 271179, one of our UK listeners, starts off by saying, "I hear Big L was scared of the UK and Australia beating the US in our Titanfall match. At least Stushnikin will have some lunch for you guys." So, if you don't know, we have been running our normal Titanfall Thursdays. We mention it every show because we do it every show, and it's great. It's super fun. That is in the U.S. here. Well, the U.K. and the external U.S. people have also put together a Titanfall session, and they want to challenge us to a battle. Now, we're still trying to work out the how we can get the timing to work out and what the stakes are going to be, but I'm thinking we'll be able to get this thing to work. There's got to be a way to get this put together and settle the score once and for all. Of course, Keith, trying to goad Big L into a battle. We'll see what happens. Now, Stushnikin comments, because he's going to bring us lunch, right? He says, "Never let a fat man be responsible for lunch. He will eat it all while you guys are playing." He does have another question, which we will answer on a future show. I promise you that, Stushnikin. As well as a comment from Montana 97 on Battleborn. I mentioned in this show about them opening some things up for us this Christmas. Well, his suggestion is to play as Montana because he loves his comments in the third person. That being said, his name is also Montana 97, so there's a little bit of a kindred spirit there, I'm sure. Philip Wendell, we didn't forget about you. We will answer your question in a future show. And the final comment from Big L. Keith, just bring it. So it sounds like it's on, Keith. So between you and your UK, Australia, Titanfall boosting group and the US boosting group, we got to find a time to get this thing to work out and battle away. It should be a great time. I'm looking forward to it. We'll, once we get that thing locked down, we'll put it into our new Z2Z community calendar. I literally just put this thing up today, and so it's a pinned topic in our forums, forum.z2z.com, and all that's in there right now is my upcoming gaming sessions, a little notes on what the contests are, just a quick little cheat sheet. We've got our Titanfall Thursday session on there. I've got my Gears of War Tuesdays that are on there. And moving into January, I've got my Diablo session up. I've got my new plan, and I'll mention this community because it's not finalized yet, but upcoming in January, the first January of the month, and going every Tuesday night. So this is Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Central. So that's my normal gaming time. I got about 2 hours. And what I want to do is get a community group for either Destiny or Battleborn or another game if you want. But those are my suggestions to get those things out of the way. Of course, Destiny, I've got tons and tons of progress. That would just be kind of for fun, for me leveling up, and I can run people through whatever. And we can get achievements that way. It's, so much more fun to play that with others. Battleborn, I will be starting fresh. And because of the winter update, everything gets opened. We, have free reign to go and just start chipping away at all those achievements. They've reduced all the, the needs to get those achievements. Sure, it shouldn't be too difficult to pound that game out, I'm hoping. I think that one is a 5-man raid group for the raid things, although I'm sure we can set up multiplayer events as well with our community. And the Destiny group is... you can go 6-man for the larger, like the raids, obviously, the larger events, or a 6-man Crucible, where you can go and do PvP stuff. Otherwise, it's 3-man for the smaller activities, and you can have multiple 3-mans try and match those things. It's convoluted, but you can do it. Anyway, just looking for some people to play with regularly on Tuesday nights. So if that time slot works for you and you are interested in any of those games, jump onto the forums, sign up, let me know what you want to play, and we'll get something cooking. And then, this should be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I look forward to gaming with all of you that can make it, or at least are interested. That being said, the long-winded intro, let me introduce my co-hosts. All right, we got a great show today. Joining me, you can hear Tarragon over across the way. How are you doing today, Tarragon?
Sorry, I was just mimicking being underwater here. I'm good. How are you?
Swimming in the Great Barrier Reef.
That's right. Which is just around the corner. Yes.
Yeah, right.
So Australia is just underwater now?
Yeah.
Like Rapture.
Okay.
Global warming, And that, of course, is Randy. You can hear him. How are you doing, Randy?
Yeah. I found a cockroach today.
Oh, they're back.
Uh-oh.
They're mounting their epic comeback.
Bow, bow.
Positive find.
Because it was dead?
It's weird. As weird as that sounds. So the previous tenants left bags of plastic bags. I hate plastic bags because I'm a hippie.
I thought you were about to say your previous tenants left like bags of cockroaches, and I was going, what?
Well, kind of. Turned out it kind of. So buried in one of these bags of plastic bags was a bag of garbage. Don't know why. Like these were clearly bags that you were like, you hang on the doorknob and you take one when you need one to go to the store or whatever. But buried was a bag of garbage. So I was cleaning that. I'm like, we got too many plastic bags. I'm just going to go through. I'm going to get rid of the little ones. And we'll kind of, keep a few, but get rid of most of them. And as I was going through, a cockroach falls out onto the floor. And I'm like, oh, it was dead. It was dead.
Hang on to garbage for 6 months. Like, that'll happen.
Yeah. No. And then I'm thinking, okay, so this is absolutely for sure the last tenants. So that was good because, I didn't think anything that we did would have caused that, but.
You mean you're hoarding garbage in your house?
Yeah, I mean there is a big
you don't do that. You want to throw that
pile of garbage. You mean do you like that garbage that people put on the street? Like that's what you're supposed to take it out of your house?
Wait, you have like street pickup like that? Like you just throw
super
sacks
weird.
out on the curb, or do you actually?
Yeah,
have
it's so. No, it's like sacks on the curb. It's really weird because like being a West Coaster, that's totally foreign to me. Yeah. So like,
wait, how does it work on the West Coast then?
You have like proper bins with lids that don't blow the garbage everywhere. You get one bin a week of garbage and that's it. You don't get any more. Or like, if you're in an apartment building, you have a big dumpster that has a lid on it. But here, you just like drag the garbage cans to the curb and like they're just like all over the curb. You can put out as much as you want. So like if you overfill your garbage can, you can just throw a big mountain of bags beside it. And then it all blows everywhere because none of them have lids. And then like the day after, there's just like garbage along the whole street. So like once a month, I go out and just like clean up garbage out of like the bushes and grass around my house because it's just like it's gross.
I was going to say in the coming months you don't have to worry about them blowing everywhere because they'll just freeze to the ground. So it's totally fine. Buried.
Yeah. So a very simple solution to this is you just get garbage cans that have the flip up lids because then people close the lids and don't lose the lids and the garbage doesn't blow everywhere.
But then what do the raccoons eat?
Oh, right. The raccoons.
Think of the raccoons, Randy. Think of the raccoons.
I know.
You probably don't have dirty raccoons on the West Coast, but okay.
Like they're too busy skating and surfing.
There was this giant raccoon in the tree in my backyard, and I was like terrified. I took the dog out to go to the bathroom like 11 at night, and like there's like this rustling in the tree, and I like shine the flashlight up there. Giant raccoon. I was like, nope. We're going out front.
I don't need to go to the toilet anymore. Okay.
Nope. Ever again.
Before we get too off track, you hear Prue's voice as well. Prue, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I've actually now kind of had my head stuck on what a kangaroo shark would look like if Australia was underwater, but it's terrifying.
You were thinking about your garbage needs. Like my garbage bin is massive because I live out in the suburbs. So, we're just wantonly wasteful. And so I have like 100-gallon gigantic bin that I wheel out every day that reeks of chicken and maggots. It's awful.
Actually, cut that down, Frame. You cut that down.
I always use my recycling bin more than my garbage bin, but it's the same size. It's another 100-gallon.
You got to stop eating maggots. They're really not good.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Stick with the cockroaches. Yeah.
Massive. Okay, well, how about we talk about video games? You guys still like video games, right?
Well, no. What?
No, not really.
Sometimes.
No. How about contests? You guys like contests?
Yeah.
Do you like prizes? How about that?
Ooh,
prizes. I don't know if you guys saw on the website, but on our forums, I actually posted winners to the contest. So if you haven't been to our forums, you can see those there, and I will regale you with the entries. The Gamertag Challenge for November, Lord Chabello 13. We had a nice selection of people get in on that. We had 26 people get involved.
Nice.
For a total of 251 entries. So that is 25 completions and one with a substitution. So out of that, breaking that down, everyone, except Minpin, which only had his 1 entry, but everyone else who had their 10 entries has a 4% chance of winning. And this month went to a Mighty Mango, Minnesota Zone Mighty Mango.
Woo!
And he'll be on the game show that we're recording tomorrow. So that'll be fun. So good on that. That's great entry this week or this month. Again, we have 2, Prue and Dead by Lead 2, so you can get up to 20 entries if you complete both tags. If you only do 1, that's great, 10 entries. Or you can substitute both of them and get 2 entries or even 1. Just get involved. That's what you want to do. The last month we also did BioShock. I pulled that winner. We had 11 people get involved. Of course, from the show, I was in there, so that didn't count. I got 25 achievements and a completion in BioShock, so that was great. But of the other entries, there were 287 entries, chances to win between previous completions and achievements unlocked in the month. The big winner, Mattism, had 2 previous completions and 71 achievements in Infinite. So that was pretty great. And What the Fudge, 72. He had 59 achievements in BioShock and 13 in Infinite. So he made a big dent. But alas, those are not the winners. The winner, with only 35 entries, he had a 12% chance of winning. It was Tropon. New listener to the show, or at least poking around in the forums, I believe. So great to have you here.
Tropon or Tropan?
Tropan?
Yeah.
Tropon. It looks like Tropon, like Trojan,
like
but Tropon.
Going swell?
That's the way I looked at it.
Swell. Anyway.
Swell.
Send us a message and tell us.
Yeah.
Tropon, help us out.
Send us a message and tell Frame how he's wrong.
Right. Yeah, well, you could just do that in general. But finally, the great random to-do list. Man, this thing is indeed great. We have eclipsed 100 participants so far in the month of December. That is awesome. I am so excited with how this thing has grown. And Tarragon, your spreadsheet is just masterful. It is working. Although I did find a bug.
Oh, really?
That I squished. Yeah, because I unfortunately announced a winner. And in Doc Joe, and he's like, how is that possible? I literally just signed up in December. I'm like, no, you got a bunch of achievements. Look, it's on the sheet. He's like, no, like I literally didn't even participate.
Yeah.
So it's pulling data from someone else. So I appreciate his honesty. Indeed. We had, so for the month of November, though, okay, that December, we've got over 100. So happy to have all of you involved and unlocking achievements. It is out of control right now, which is awesome. But in the month of November, there were 79 people who unlocked at least 1 achievement, meaning you got at least 1 entry. The total number of entries, 578 achievements unlocked by all of the entrants. So that is awesome. Top achievement earners in November. Big round of applause. Chin Doctor nails all 25. That is awesome.
Yes,
that is
first person to do it, and he's at 23 already for this month. So he's going for it.
Yeah, dude's a beast. That is awesome. Great work on that, Chin Doctor. What
Australia,
the fudge?
yeah.
Yeah, What the Fudge ended up with 21 achievements. Giant Hunger also got 21 achievements. And then Buffalo of Lies and Big L ended with 19 achievements for the month. So those are our top 5. As far as points for the month, comes as no surprise. Chin Doctor leads with 53.63, so just over 5,000 points. Nipping at his heels, What the Fudge, with his 21 achievements, got 51.50. And in a semi-decent gap, Buffalo of Lies actually climbs up there with his 19. Must have gotten some doozies. 4,600 points. So those are our top 3 point scorers. As far as the overall contest, through 3 months, Cerebral Assassin, still number 1 with 48 total achievements. Of course, that is only up through November. Chin Doctor is closing that gap quite quickly. Koosh Moose with 45, Enigma Gamer 77 with 45, Big L with 45, and Jess Stryker with 44. Those are our top 5 going into December. I have not included any December numbers in there. As far as points, Just Striker on top, Cerebral Assassin in second, closely followed by Koosh Moose, Enigma Gamer, and Big L. So same top 5, just a different order. But what you all want to know is what happened in this month. Who gets the prize? Well, with a 3.6% chance of winning, it was What the Fudge. With his 21 achievements, ended up.
You just like saying that, don't you?
I do. Well, because last show I said WHT consonant GG, right?
Yep.
And it's if I just put vowels in there, it makes it work really well. And so I'm just gonna because I think he told me I can call him Fudge.
Okay.
But I like What the Fudge, just like my
Doughboy.
other favorite name, Doughboy. Yeah. Those are the best.
How about
So
can you do Foo Foo Cuddly Poof in the same sort of vernacular?
Ooh, cuddly poof.
There we go.
That's how I end up saying it.
Perfect.
We'll actually hear from Foo Foo Cuddly Poof later in the show. I'll let little bits there for you. So
Teaser.
this month, of course, we got all of our achievement contests up and running for the month of December. Good luck. Sign up in our forums, of course, forum.z2z.com. Great place to go check out these contests. We just had somebody in Discord looking for them. A new listener to the show. Arrow Ben Kenobi came over from the X1 Bros. So thank you for listening.
That's a Star Trek reference, isn't it?
Good
stop
luck.
it. Stop your nonsense right now.
See, I already tried to get Prue on that. I don't remember if it was in chat or if it was on a podcast, but he didn't fall for it. It's no fun.
All right.
You're not going to
Like
bait
it was in
me.
chat.
A little bit of gaming. Terrigan, what is a game we should put on our games collection for hopefully getting pulled in the random to-do list? Unfortunately, it might be too quick to
this one
actually
you kind of need to add it and then just sit on it for a while. But most people already know about this, but Energy Cycle, brand new game, just came out. It's like $3 US or something like that, and it's probably in contention to be about the third quickest 1K ever. It's about a 15-minute completion from 0 to 1,000 points. So pick that one up if you want some quick points. It's only really beaten out by Fallout 3 PC and Avatar for speed, I think. Yeah.
Now there's nothing like tricky about it or anything. Like it literally is just that's how fast it works.
That's how fast it works. It's something like 24 levels. You get an achievement every 3 levels, and it's essentially a puzzle game. And if you follow a guide, you get through those puzzles really quickly. So Maka, who friend of the show, has put up a good guide for that, which is pretty much exactly 15 minutes, showing you exactly all of the solutions. So it's super fast.
Delightful. That will be my first completion of 2017, and I will find out which category that fits into when I announce the Freemhole Completion Challenge of 2017. That'll be one of the 30. So keep your eyes on the post. And
you're going to create a category called Game Completed Under 20 Minutes, just for that one, right?
Just for that one, yeah. I don't even know. You might have to get creative and try where to fit this. I don't even remember the categories off the top of my head. So we'll see. But there's going to be a home. I will tell you this. Here's a sneak peek because I did copy one from last time, and it is the dealer's choice. So you have one completion. If it doesn't fit anywhere, you can just throw it in at the end. So that is again in this upcoming season. So you've got at least one, and that could be Energy Cycle. I'm guessing there's some other places for this as well. How many achievements? 12?
Something like that.
One
for every 3.
10.
10. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Bada bing! What else we got?
The last thing I just sort of spotted on my not so much my feeds, but I was looking around on some of the pages on TA, and it just seems that they are now quietly showing rarity for non-Xbox One games. So obviously the rarity is coming through on the feeds that TA have access to, and they're coming through for Xbox 360 games for Windows Live, Windows Phone, all of those platforms now. So
Windows 8 too. It's odd though because it's really spotty. It seems to only update when somebody unlocks the achievement, and then sometimes it goes away. So I've noticed on games I was looking at, some of them don't have rarities anymore. And a lot of games will have rarities for half the achievements. And then, like, for example, I was playing, must have been Mortal Kombat last week. And because it's kind of an old game, not a lot of people play. Nobody had won any achievements in a long time. And as I was playing, I would say, okay, so I got the 10 online wins, and that one had a rare achievement, but 50 online achievements didn't, or 50 online wins didn't, until I won it, and then it got it too.
Yeah, that's weird.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's still updating, or maybe the Microsoft feeds are not very good.
Yeah, it could very be very well that they're still, like, I imagine that it's through a distributed cloud for those kind of feeds. Maybe it just hasn't distributed evenly yet, and so when they read them in at certain times. It's just kind of interesting. I spotted my first one that I spotted, I don't think I actually unlocked it, but I spotted it on Tetris Grandmaster Ace, which is one of those obscure, it was a Japanese release game for the 360, believe it or not. As I pulled that up for my random to-do list, and it's like, hey, what is a rare achievement? Hang on. That wasn't
bizarre.
Yeah. So, but there was only like 3 of them, and it doesn't really seem to follow the order of the rarity. Like, you sort of look at, if you order the list on TA by rarity, you'd kind of expect, by ratio, you kind of expect that the rarer ones are going to be pretty much the higher ratio ones, but it doesn't seem to work like that all the time, so it's a bit funny.
It's weird. But, and so, if you unlock it on the 360 though, does the little diamond show up, or is it just on TA?
It's just on TA. No. It's just the rarity values, the percentages are available, which I think they were available on the Xbox.com website for a while. They just weren't coming through on the feeds, so it's a bit hit and miss. But they're there. They're coming.
Curious. Wonderful. Well, let's talk about what we've been gaming, and I want to make a quick comment here because I got a Twitter feed comment from NBA Kirkland, who he said he was mentioned my Destiny story, and he said, "Yeah, get your priorities straight, Freemhold." And he LOL, I can relate. When I listened back to that podcast, turns out it made me sound like a huge jerk. I assure you, that was not the case. Like, my daughter was not that sick. She was fine. She just had a tummy ache, and I think it's because of acid reflux. And so if you lay down, it doesn't feel good. So if you kind of lay up and sit in a chair, you feel better. Mm-hmm. And then she just got so tired. She wanted to. So I don't want to make it sound like she was half puking on the walk up the stairs. And I'm like, can you run the vacuum on that? Because I'm in the middle of a raid here. It was not like that. It was definitely not like that. So I feel like that's how it came off last show. Maybe not. Maybe I'm looking into it, but
sure, it wasn't like that. We definitely believe you. Okay, we definitely believe you.
No, nice save. Nice save for him.
Yep. Aside from that, I actually didn't play Destiny this week. I did, however, get back into Rayman Legends. I was working on my dailies, and I had mentioned that I've been racking up these medals. I know I'm quite far away, but I'm just every night now I'm kind of doing a dailies, and then I'm picking one level to just master. And so I think I went from 400 some teensies up to 500 and some. And you are right, Randy. Second time through is so much easier. And once you start learning those speed tricks to get better times, it's all those invasion pictures are so much easier when you can do the dash jump and just all those tricks on how to get your guy to move faster. And you end up completing each level with 5 seconds to spare. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and
it's making some great progress there.
Yeah, my second time through was just effortless. The whole campaign was first try.
Yeah,
I mean, not always, obviously, but in comparison to the first time through, it was just done every time. Yeah, because really, the whole game, the difficulty is just mastering all of the different techniques, and once you've got that down, no level is hard anymore. I mean, you can make a super hard level and it's still not too bad.
No, and you know what? I mean, just the level design, and I've praised this game a ton, and it's just wonderfully put together where you can. It reminds me of Sonic back on the old Genesis when it felt like that was so fluid and fast, but turns out you're just out of control, and they just didn't put any tricks in your way. Rayman is completely in control, but you can maintain speed and flow because of the music and the rhythm, and it's just wonderful.
And just I can't wait for solid controls, just great controls. And I was chatting with Damien this week because he was working on it too, and just kind of talking about it. It's Rayman Legends is the perfect platformer. I don't think you could ask for anything more because it has the campaign that's really good. The difficulty curve is super nice. It's just right.
Yeah.
And then once you get to the end where the campaign's easy, then you go online and you compete in these more increasingly difficult levels that require really advanced timing and skill if you really want to go for that crazy high skill cap and compete for diamonds. So it's got everything just right. So it's hard where it's not a game like, I don't know, I want to say Dust Force. I haven't played Dust Force, but I know it's kind of legendary for being stupid difficult. Where, it's a solid game and everything, but the game is so hard that a normal person can't play it.
Right.
You have to be so good at it before you can even attempt to play it. Where Rayman Legends, anyone can jump in at any time.
I played with my son constantly, and he was 5 at the time.
Yeah, and it's so easy because you can just jump in wherever, you can pick up wherever, and you will have a good time with it. And then for the people that really want to go that extra step and do the kind of hardcore platforming, then there's the competitive mode, which is awesome. I cannot think of a better platformer than Rayman Legends. It's just so good.
Quick question for you: Are the characters different? Do they move at different rates? It's just
they're completely identical in every way. Okay. They look different. They definitely look different. And some for you may when you go to the really advanced techniques where you attack and roll. Yeah. You may favor a certain character's animation just for timing purposes, but in terms of the actual timing window, they're all the same.
Yeah, and that's because I am strict teensies. I'm always teensies, and it's I try to run any of the princesses, and I feel like when they swing their weapon, it just throws me off.
I had a really hard time with the princesses.
I cannot.
A lot of top players liked Glowbox. Don't know why.
I don't get that.
I'm a Rayman guy.
Oh, yeah. I could see that. Glowbox looks like he's just going to collapse. Anyway. Yeah. That's enough about Rayman.
A lot of the top guys, when I was doing my dailies, all played as him. I don't know.
I just
didn't get it.
Anyway.
Yeah. Nobody played as the princesses ever.
No, I revisited Oceanhorn, chipped away at that game a little bit. Adventures of Pip, I revisited that for the Gamertag Challenge, and then the fun stuff. So we reconnected for Gears of War 3 on Tuesdays. Of course, it's Gears month for the Community Challenge, and so we worked on Beast Mode. I'd never played Beast Mode before. It was a lot of fun, and so unlocked all the Beast Mode achievements. We're moving into Horde Mode. So when this releases, we should have done our first time of Horde Mode yesterday. I don't know how many times we're going to end up doing that, but so if you're interested, there's 5 people, so reach out. We can, I'm sure we can pick some people up. That was a lot of fun, but we ended a little early. We had about a half hour early and decided, we should. I don't want to start something new or do something dumb and grindy. Let's just. You know what? Why don't we go and just mess around in Castle Crashers and see if we can get back off Barbarian, right? There's 4 of us. Big L showed me his video, and it was if you had 4 people, you can just kind of spread out. Now, different maps work for better and worse for others. But if you spread the 4 people to the 4 corners of the map, and hopefully the map is big enough, and then you just get some luck that you might actually have a decent time here. And so we ended up doing it for about 30-40 minutes, and we ended up on this one map. It's kind of a long green map. I think it's the one with the castle door. Anyway, and I went into one of the back corners, and there was some bushes in the way, and it was kind of tucked out of the way. And for whatever reason, they never came over by me. It was great. It was reminiscent of when that AI bug was in there, and they couldn't figure out how to get you. Now, they eventually did come around, but I think Matism and Koosh were on the left side being chased for 2 minutes straight, and Saucy and I were on the right side. Nobody even showed up. And then so finally when those 2 die, Saucy comes running over, and he is doing the stick wiggle, hoping for the best, trying to stay alive. And it just so happens that his stick wiggle went from lower left corner all the way up to the corner I was in. I'm like, get him out of here. Come on. I got 10 seconds left. Get away. And so really, I literally only had to touch the stick. It was this perfect little honey hole. I only had to touch the stick for maybe 12 seconds. And immediately once I saw the 230, It was like 2:32. I just dropped my controller. I'm like, we're done. Thank you. Fantastic. And keep in mind, only one person of the 4 needs to get to 2:30, and everybody wins the achievement. It's fantastic. Man, it was so much fun. That was one of those achievements, of course, a rare achievement. And that one I felt was indeed deserving of its rare, because that is a tough game mode. You just got to get lucky. So to all of you out there who are working on that or give it a shot, it's just trial and error, hope for the best. And like I said, spread out as far as you can, and then just wiggle that movement stick as fast as you can once you get into trouble. The final thing, of course, we had Titanfall Thursday, and despite Big L and Prue's best effort to Pruin the experience, Big L's new word, it was great. It was a lot of fun as per usual, and so we kind of have now adopted an open door policy, and it really has been that way. And I want to make sure that it's very clear. Literally anybody in the community, if you want to come on play Titanfall 1 with our group on the Xbox One Thursday nights, 10 p.m. Central, you are absolutely welcome. We are just messing around, having fun. Everyone shows up, kind of picks 1 or 2 things they want to work on, and we'll just try to do our best to accommodate. If you need to get some pilot kills, great. If you need to do some wins, whatever. And we just kind of rotate around having fun. I'm working on daily challenges and just leveling up. So it's great. And I think that has really helped out the crew. Would you agree, Prue?
I would, but let me just correct you on one thing, so everybody's aware of this. You show up at 10 o'clock Central. We're actually
That's
there.
true.
A bunch of us are there an hour earlier, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern time. So anytime from 10 on.
I forgot about
pretty
that.
much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Hey, hold on. Not 10 on. I said in the chat that was a Central Time chat. We don't use Eastern Time in that chat. Central Time chat.
Well, you don't. But anyways, we all. No. But yeah, we're there from 9 o'clock Central, pretty much until people start falling asleep, and it's great.
I shuttered down like between 12:30 and 1. So from 9 to 1, there will be people from the community playing typically.
And because we generally have, I don't know what, between probably 8 and 10, 12 people, depending. And so there's always something to do, and somebody's always working on something. And it's just a really friendly atmosphere that you come out and
super laid back too.
Oh, totally. It's not that crazy structured at all. It's just, we're all going in there. We all want to help each other out, and we're in it for the long haul. So Thursdays are a fun night just to come hang out and work towards some achievements that are not easy to get on your own.
Correct. What about the rest of your gaming, Prue? What else you been up to?
Well, I've been up to quite a bit, actually. Working on the random to-do stuff, because that's my favorite. I love doing the random to-do stuff. So I went back and did some Dragon Age Origins stuff. Now, that's a game that I loved back in the day, but it was not a game that I replayed, so I had to go back and make a level 20 mage or something. Oh, no, as a rogue. But so I went back and did that real quick. Got some collectible. No. On Metro Redux, I actually had to play some developer level. And the biggest one that I've been working towards for the random to-do list is Dead or Alive 4. And I had to enlist the help of Randy here. So basically I had to get to a certain level in online. And obviously nobody's playing this game anymore. So it was a lot of boosting, and we did get it.
Somebody was playing.
Well, yeah.
Some of these eight Xboxes were playing.
No, we did encounter one random.
Oh, really?
Somehow.
Yeah, he kept appearing, and it was annoying. But
isn't it just bizarre? Like, that happens on our Titanfall too. It's like, who are these literally, there are no Xboxes in Japan. Who is jumping on the Japan servers in Titanfall nowadays?
Well, but Titanfall at least is only a couple of years old. Like, Dead or Alive is like a launch game.
That's true.
and there's Dead or Alive.
So it's like one guy.
There's been a new one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up popping the achievement. I got a whole bunch of achievements on the way, but because I never played the online. This was back in the day. It wasn't. I didn't buy it at launch, but it was very shortly thereafter. But yeah, so I got a bunch of achievements on the way, and actually about an hour before we started recording it, I ended up getting the one I needed for the random to-do list. So that's probably going to go back on the back burner. But that's what I've been working on for the random to-do stuff, which is always kind of I kind of prioritize that over most of my other stuff if I can. But then we move on to just stuff for fun. My friend and I made our way through the Master Chief Saga playlist in Halo Master Chief Collection, which is literally every level of the first 4 Halo games. Well, not the first 4, but the numbered Halo 4, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4 games. Yep. On normal, though, so it's not too hard. We just kind of ran through it. Then I was playing Walking Dead, still making my way through that, because I've beaten the Xbox 360 version, playing through the one version with my roommate. I picked up BioShock. Crewmate, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Crewmate.
Yeah, I had beaten BioShock 1 and 2 when the remastered first came out, and now I'm making my way through Infinite so that Randy can finally have someone to talk to.
Finally, spoiler cast.
About
Come on.
Whatever it's called, that DLC. But yeah, so I have to just see. Let's see. I just have to finish Infinite, so I'm making my way through that. And then, on Tuesday, myself, Big L, Matriarch, and then a random guy from Brazil who didn't speak English, unfortunately, we had a session to play through Halo ODST, and we had to play Firefight, which is essentially Horde mode, and get to this point on Heroic, and it's the only achievement
I know that achievement. It's the 0 pointer, and you've got to get through the 4 waves of it or something like that on Heroic. And the well, it's not so much the matchmaking, but just the way the peer-to-peer networking on that game works makes it really, 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 really struggling. I don't know if you've got
I don't think it's a 0 pointer, though, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I was just going to say, if it is a 0 pointer, I'm going to have a talk with Big L and Matriarch because they didn't tell me that. So that would be very interesting to know.
Yeah, it's part of the official set of achievements, but they released it in an update for the game along with a couple of other ones, which is like the Vidoc challenges or something like that.
No, I thought that was in Halo 3 that they did that.
I'm pretty sure
not Halo ODST.
I honestly. They asked me for help, and I jumped.
I got to check now.
But we were going for it, and we did quite well. Especially they had worked on it before previously, but this is my first time just kind of jumping in. And of course, we had a fourth who couldn't communicate with us. It seemed like he was probably typing things into Google Translate and then typing them on his Xbox 360 and then sending messages. So maybe not the most effective form of communication.
No, I am wrong. The Vidmaster Challenge Deja Vu is the one.
I'm looking at Endure.
Or Classic. It's one of those.
I think
anyway. It's a Vidmaster Challenge. Yes, they do have value on ODST, and it was Halo 3 that had the 0 point ones.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So they're off the hook then. I'm still going to get.
They do have points. Yeah, you're going to get points. Okay. Yeah, so you're looking at Vidmaster Challenge Endure, which is 25 points.
That's fair. Okay. We got very close. We did. I think we got to play one round. Didn't go that well. We picked a better level. We got much further. I have a feeling we'll be able to get this done the next time, next week. Other than that, just today, I guess Randy got the urge to run some people through Syndicate. So me and Mighty Mango, we started doing that. It was another situation where we kind of thought things might go smoother on the first go, but it didn't. So we're probably gonna have to pick that up later on. But that's
hoping to have it done this weekend, though. That's the goal.
That would be amazing for sure.
This weekend, I think it's doable.
Seems like a quick turnaround.
I'm a little rusty, but it's coming back. I mean, I'm pretty good at Syndicate. I think Prue can probably.
Yeah. No, literally, like everything will be dead by the time I turn the corner. So I don't even know why.
Yeah, they weren't even getting kills. The only points they got were for healing me.
Yeah. So I'll just, that's fine. It was free points. I'll follow you around for 3 hours and get some achievement points. I have no problem with that. And that's right.
I enjoy Syndicate very much.
Well, we heard some of your gaming, Randy. What else you been up to?
I've had a busy week. So my 31 completion challenge continues. I think I'm at 7 or 8 now. I need to double check. But this week I finished a bunch of games. So I guess I'll start with Perfect Dark Zero. The will-crushing experience of Perfect Dark Zero.
It just feeds you, Randy. It just feeds you. It makes you stronger.
It's why he's the way he is.
Wait, I thought you finished Perfect Dark.
Oh, we finished it on co-op. Now I'm doing it on single player because you have to do it. This is like my 5th run through the game because it hates you.
So it's a bit like the Halo harder series where you've got to complete it on Legendary with people and complete it on Legendary again solo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Except to unlock Legendary, you have to play it twice first to get there. So you already hate the game because you've had to play it twice, and then now you're playing it the 3rd time on the impossible difficult. So yes, much harder single player. I got to one of the harder, I don't want to say harder, but one of the longer levels that requires you to really not get hit a lot, because there are a few points where if you make a mistake, which this actually happened to me, I got to the very end of the level. I think I got shot once the whole way through. This is like a 20-minute mission, and I'm like 2-3 minutes away from finishing. One enemy completely killed me in less time than it took for me to turn around and shoot him. I took one shot, or maybe 2, which is like, it's not much. Like I had like 80 or 90% health.
And you should have just known that they were there, obviously.
Well, see, I did. That was the thing. I just didn't have time to react.
This is why that game is totally broken. There's no chance of recovery. Like you have to go from the start of the level to the end of the level, and you have 1 health bar, and there's no checkpoints, and there are a zillion bad guys.
There's no armor.
Yeah,
there's no health. That's it, and it is punishing, and I haven't touched it since that. It's been almost a full week since that death, and I'm just like, oh man. Part of that is because I've been working on Gears of War, mostly due to that part of it. Part of the will crushing, spirit crushing.
You thought rather than having your spirit crushed completely by stupidly hard games, you'd have your spirit crushed by grinding away at something really menial.
Yeah,
right.
So
like
I
8
have
Xboxes.
Yes, I have an extra Xbox here for a little bit that I borrowed from Planting, and so there was a deal on Black Friday for accounts that didn't have gold, where you get a month of gold for $1. So I had a few extra gold accounts around. I had my usual. Over the years, I've accumulated like 1 million copies of Gears of War. So yeah, sure, I'll just do seriously. It's kind of like halfway there.
Funsies.
Halfway there. So then I set a goal. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do 6,000 kills this weekend. I think I got like 4,500. I didn't quite hit my 6,000, but
disappointing. Crandy. So disappointing.
I know. It's shameful. So I finished seriously, and just today, a little bit before the recording, I finished This Is Annex, which I think was worse in terms of being horribly boring than seriously. It only takes about 10 hours, but Annex is just torture. So I got both of those done. Now I have 2 achievements left, so that should be finished up tomorrow.
Hey, what was the final figure for seriously? By the way, we had a bit of a pool going in the Discord chat.
Oh, what was it? It was just over 11,000. I think it was like 11,080 or something.
Ooh, we might want to know. We might want to know the exact figure, because I think a bunch of us actually went for like 1123, 1124, and 1125.
It was very close to a lot of guesses. like way close. So I'll look that up. I'll go back on and check the numbers. I'll have to add them up again. I did post it in chat when it unlocked, but that's going to be way gone now. Yeah. And so since I had all the boxes out, I figured, hey, I should probably finish Rainbow Six Vegas 2, because that requires 6. I've got 6. Popped it in. I was like an hour and a half from completing the game. It's been like that on my tag for like 3 years. Don't know why I didn't finish that. I love that game. It's fantastic. And I I finally got around to doing the notorious Xbox Live Vision Cam achievement. And there's a really fantastic guide on TA that suggests using a mugshot, because a mugshot is exactly what you're taking for that achievement. So there's a picture that's already perfect. And then you just, you get did it on my phone. I held the camera up to my phone, used a mugshot, and it worked first try. Like, that's one that's notorious for taking like 2+ hours of trying to take the perfect picture of your face. And it was really funny because this was a black and white mugshot from like, I don't know, it looked like it was in a newspaper like 200 years ago. And it was really funny.
Kaczynski or something, or
I don't know. It was on some article about is the British government keeping your mugshot in a database or something. I don't know. Anyway, it was really funny because it was black and white. The guy's face is completely like ghost white. Like, it's like it took the color of the picture and then just like stretched it over the face. But it's hilarious. And it's got like a big mustache. It's really funny. Looks like what's his name? The purple Mario guy. Waluigi. Yeah, it looks like him if his face was like just totally white. Really funny. So yeah, that was done nice and smooth. The glitch worked perfectly for getting XP. I was about 100k XP off just from my playing. I didn't really feel like getting another 100k XP. So there's a glitch that lets you kind of duplicate XP. Worked first time, got my last achievements, finished that one off. And then I was playing some Connect Not Fun Labs, Not Games. It's my joke because nothing in Connect Fun Labs is fun and most of them aren't games.
To be fair, I don't think they actually called them games.
Connect tech demos?
Yeah, they did call them fun labs because they were lab experiments essentially.
Okay,
anyway.
Well, I mean, these seem like, I don't know. Anyway, I did Connect Fun Labs 5 Micro Lab Challenge, which was terrible. The tracking is awful.
Hey, you've got a copy of that? I want a copy of that.
Well, talk to me after the show. I can.
All right. That's been long delisted, and I've never got a chance.
Yeah. See, conveniently, I lived in Canada, and it was only released in the U.S., so I do have it on a dummy account. All right. So I'll be traveling to Australia. So,
okay.
Because we don't condone account sharing on the show. But yeah. We'll get the tickets figured out.
Yep. All right. We'll talk. And I'll have your people talk to my people.
Exactly.
You guys have people?
We're very important.
Wait, you don't.
Very, very important. Then my last completion this week was Connect Fun Labs, Connect Rush Snapshot, which I think was it took me 13 minutes to complete it or something. Horrible. It's not a game. It is not a game. I would hardly even call it an app.
So you're saying that you disliked that more than grinding seriously for however many hours that you did. That 13 minutes in Connect Fun Labs.
I think so.
You're complaining more about that than about seriously.
I have to, because when I'm grinding seriously, I can listen to music, I can watch Seinfeld, I can do something. But this, I have to stand there and clap my hands in the middle of my living room, and my dog is confused what I'm doing. He's just sitting there looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And
I think most people would be doing that actually. What are you
doing?
Probably.
Fortunately, now with this big empty house that has no furniture in it because I don't have any money, great for Connect. Fantastic.
Pro tip.
Space.
Pro tip.
No furniture.
No furniture. No income. Connect. Works perfectly.
Profit.
So 2 completions. Then I tried to do Connect Me, which, as far as I can tell, is exactly the same as Connect Rush Snapshot. But the Xbox froze, and I figured, yeah, it's enough Connect.
It's a sign. It's a sign.
It's a sign. So that was it. I was kind of sore. I didn't hurt myself like I did earlier in the week when I was playing Dance Central. That was just after recording last week where I pulled something in my leg. Not bad. Bad. I think I don't know if I mentioned that on the reviews, Ed, but
I think
not fun. Yeah. Not fun. That's another game I was playing, Dance Central. I'm really hoping the glitch works for the hard achievement in that game where you can do it in practice instead of in performance, because I don't think I'm ever going to get that one. I'm too clumsy and awkward. It's just not going to happen, and not in shape.
Just get good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, if that's what it comes down to, I mean, I guess. But,
or get a MIDI controller for it. That should do it. That works in Dance Central.
Yeah, right.
Build
a robot.
I know. I've thought about it because that's what it comes down to. Is like, okay, is it going to take less time to actually do this, or is it going to take less time to build something that can do it for me? Probably less time to do it in this case.
Yeah, probably.
But if I build something to do it for me, then I could do Dance Central 1 and 2 also. So we'll see. Don't think it's going to happen, though. Jetpack Refueled, getting through that, kind of. Quake 4 was making some progress. Matches played while I look for jobs. Enigmatis 2, kept playing that, picking away. Should be done this weekend, I hope. Golden Axe. That game has not aged well. Really has not aged well.
Which Golden Axe is that? Is that the super hard one, or is that the Xbox Live Arcade one? Because there was
both of the Xbox Live Arcade ones are super easy.
Yeah, no, there was
this is the easier delisted one. Oh no, it's
Golden
not
Axe,
Golden Axe Beast Rider.
Yeah.
It's not Beast Rider. This is
notorious.
The delisted arcade game that doesn't work unless you have the license on your box, which is weird. So it does not work if you are like if you own the license on your account and you sign into a box that does not hold the license, the game will not launch, or it'll launch, but it won't be the full version. Really weird. So yeah, the license is on the box and it works. So that's good.
I guess I'm coming to America then.
All right. It'd be good to have you.
Yeah. I'll drop through and we'll share some games or something.
So has not aged well. I've never liked Golden Axe. I've tried to play it a few times, but it's like a 2-hour completion, so I'll suffer through it. And then the Prue mentioned the last 2, Syndicate. I'm running him and Mango through. Hopefully go a little smoother next go, and help him Prue out with Dead or Alive 4. And I think that's everything I played this week. I've had quite a busy week. Very productive.
I'm busy. What about you, Tarragon?
My 31 completions are on track, though. I'm almost still keeping pace at 1 a day. By this weekend, I should be more than 1 a day so far.
Actually, we had a question to the two of us from Joe, and she asks, "Hey, Randy or Freem, can I trade you a Lego completion for a shooter completion?" Obviously, for the Freem Challenge for 2016, where I'm hung up on a Lego game, clearly she doesn't think she can get a shooter done. Yeah.
See, I would.
Unfortunately, Joe, no. Yeah, I would too.
If we could. I mean, if you could just trade gamer score, I could complete Syndicate over and over again.
Come on, guys, just pick a Lego game and get it done. It's not hard.
Yeah, but it's like 20 hours. I need to keep pace. I need to keep pace with my stuff.
Here's the thing. There's been so many Lego games. There's got to be a Lego game with a property that you're interested in, and then that makes it go by super fast. Like, oh, I get this new character that I love, and ooh, this is great, and this is fun, and this is silly.
No, all the Lego games get to a point where you've played through the main story, and everything else is just a complete and utter grind. It's just boring.
I'm there on Marvel superheroes. It's like, okay, let's see. I've done everything at least once, and I have to go back through, and I'm at 32%. Oh, great. That's fantastic. I only need another, 180 gold bricks or something. It's like, oh my God, this is dumb.
Well, and it's, for me, it's not so much, not a Lego game that I'm interested in. I mean, I have plenty of Lego games I'm interested in, but it's just this month, if I want to keep my 31 completions, I need to be looking for completions that are, under 5 hours, or I'm putting some time into Gears. I'm putting some time into Perfect Dark, but that's because I kind of had this opportunity come along. They're almost done. I can double dip, put in 15 hours, get the completion, and then continue with my easy stuff. But if I start a Lego game, pretty much, even if I pick the quickest one, it's still going to be 20 hours.
Yeah, I think the quickest one is about 15, and that's the Lego game, the game. And that's got a stack as well. So, I mean, if you haven't got it on one, if you've already done it on one platform, you could do the other platform if you were really desperate to.
Yeah. Well, the other one I was thinking about is Lego Rock Band, which I'm almost done most of Lego Rock Band, but it's just that final countdown. I don't think I could give it a try. That would be the only one. But that's maybe
when you're over in Australia, I can probably help you with that one.
Yeah, we can see if we can get that figured out. But that's the only thing on the Freem completion challenge that I'm not going to get, because everything else I have planned as something that I'm going to play this month. So I don't know. If Lego Rock Band can get done, that would be very nice.
I made plans before. They never work.
What about Lego Dimensions?
But I've only got...
No, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Well, and
don't get me wrong, it's a good game, but if you want completions, don't touch Lego Dimensions.
I'll borrow Lego Dimensions from somebody that spent like $500 on it and then just do it all. But no, I'm only missing 3. I checked. I went through the list last week after I talked about it, and just 3. So, and Gears of War will finish up another one. So.
Perfect. What about you, Tarragon? Let's move into your gaming.
All right. Well, I'm taking a bit of a break from Assassin's Creed Unity. I'm sort of at the cleanup phase, and it's the very boring, grindy cleanup phase, and I'm sort of done with it for now. So as I was getting bored with that, I picked up Batman Arkham Asylum for the 6th time. So I started the remaster on that and just played through a little bit of that. That was sort of handy because I needed an achievement that day, and it was nice and easy to get that one going. Still a good game.
How's the remaster?
It is good.
Quick. Yeah, okay.
It looks exactly the same as the original, as far as I can tell, just a bit shinier. Plays exactly the same, though, as you'd expect. A couple of episodes ago, I think Freem said or mentioned the Solitaire collection coming out on iOS and so forth. So I actually picked that up, and I'm sort of working towards my diamond, which was good advice. Thanks, Freem. But I don't think I'll be getting the monthly this month because I'll be going away later this month, and I won't have a chance to keep going on it, unfortunately. But I will get the diamond, I'm sure. Played a little bit more of The Witness, got through, actually managed to get the first achievement in that, which was actually quite a fair way in. You got to get through a whole crap ton of puzzles before you get to it. But you sort of unlock this layer. There's like a bunch of lasers in different areas of the island, I think, or whatever it is. And you get through a bunch of puzzles and finally turn it on. So I got that. And a little bit of Elite Dangerous.
Are you liking it?
I haven't gone back to it since then. So I guess I need to be in the right frame of mind to really think. I think it's not a mindless go through the game kind of game, and I've just this week in particular I've just been having really bad sleep, so the last thing I want to do is come back and really have to think hard about something. So it hasn't been turned on since, but I will get back to it. It's just a matter of being in the right frame of mind, I think. Elite Dangerous moved a little bit closer to the core, but nothing to really note on that. And the last couple of days I've actually looked at my random to-do list and thought, actually some of those aren't so bad. And I've managed to unlock 5 now from in the last couple of days, which I thought was pretty surprising, given I thought that my list was going to be pretty bad. So, Babel Rising. There was actually an achievement in that called Survivor, which was to stay alive for 5 minutes where the enemies have built most of the tower. So it's like in the very, you're a god, you've got to try and destroy these enemies, stop them from building this tower, and you've got to get to near the top of the tower and then survive for 5 minutes without them being able to build the tower. There's actually a bug in the game which allows you to get that. If you let them build the tower and then just sit on the you've lost screen and leave it go for like 5 or 10 minutes and come back, there's a random chance that the achievement will just unlock. So,
ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I just did that like 2 or 3 times in a row, and finally the achievement just unlocked by itself. I was like, oh, sweet. So that was nowhere near as difficult as I thought it was going to be. Magic 2015, I basically started that game because I haven't actually played it yet. It was just on my card. I think you might have added it actually, Freem. So I started that game. I've got an achievement called Spellbound, which requires, I think, casting like 5 spells in a turn or something like that. And there's ways to set it up, but to actually set it up, you need a lot of cards, and to get a lot of cards, you need to play through a lot of the games. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get that this month, but I'm sort of gradually playing through bits of that to set it all up. There was an achievement in Roundabout, which I had played a little while back, obviously, for the 8-hour drive challenge thing that I was working on, but turns out the achievement I needed in that was literally go to a shop and buy a hat. So I was kind of lucky. I'd already basically unlocked all of that stuff, and I just had to go into the game and buy the hat, and I was like, boop, okay. Perfect Dark Zero, grinded out 100 Dark Ops games in that with bots, which took a while, but it was pretty straightforward. And I was doing that at the same time as working on something else. I think I was doing the Solitaire Collection, so I was kind of double dipping. It turns out it was actually after a while with that one, because I just gotten used to the button presses. I actually turned off the screen and went and did something else. I think I was working on something on the Xbox One and just occasionally going and pressing B and then start to start a new match. And it popped while I wasn't looking, so that was kind of nice. I think I was like 2 games.
How long did you play afterwards?
It was actually literally, I think it popped like, because I wasn't paying too much attention to it, and I think I did it like twice whilst I was on the Xbox One screen, twice while I was off screen. And I looked on my list, and that's right, I unlocked something else off my to-do list, and it turned out that the Perfect Dark one had unlocked in these 2 games that I'd played whilst I wasn't looking. So it was like I was literally 2 games away. So that was kind of funny. Seen it, Bright Lights, Big Screen, European version. There was an achievement in that I had to get, which I got, and a bunch of others along the way, because that's just the way that game works. Yes, I Ninja. You might appreciate this one, Randy. There's an achievement for killing a lot of cucumbers.
The price dropped.
Oh, did it? But
it's on my list
because you like eating crunchy things. So there's an achievement for killing cucumbers in that. So
good for the well. See, this is a game by the same developers as Toro. I mean,
okay.
Toro was
That's
quality.
a gem.
They dropped the price of Toro too to like $4 now. So they fixed the achievement and dropped the price. I would highly recommend it. It's like a 10-hour completion. Terrible game, but the best kind of terrible.
Yeah, that one's. Was that a Big Ben game? It seems like it should have been a Big Ben game. Don't think
no, it was that company. I mean, they're kind of like Big Ben. They're like independent Big Ben.
Yeah. So Yes, I Ninja.
But, it should be. Yeah.
Yes, I Ninja actually it plays and looks like a game that somebody would have gone to a game development sort of school and built. It'd be like their first game that they've built as a school project kind of thing. It's just like really kind of, it's like just got some clumsy mechanics and the graphics aren't great and it's just kind of put together in this kind of way. So yeah, I mean, it's not the worst game I've played, but it's not great. Yeah, it just looks kind of amateur, I guess. That's what it gets down to. But it's a Y. What can you do? And Tetris, the Grandmaster Ace, which I alluded to last episode as being that weird achievement on my list. I started playing through that, and actually just wanted to give a shout out to Dwaggy Knight. It's spelled D-W-A-G-G-I. Dwaggy Knight, who's basically put a guide on most of the achievements for that, and is the only guide for most of the achievements on that, and they've been absolutely invaluable because the achievements themselves are not very helpful, and they're also in Japanese. So that was really handy. And also, I just want to give a shout out to M. Matriarch as well, because she's been looking for someone to do the multiplayer in that, so yeah, we'll probably hook that up at some point. I need to get through to, there's like a bunch of kind of challenge modes in that game, and I need to get to the 14th, complete that one. So I've gotten through 8 of those now, so just needs a bit more work. And that's pretty much it for me.
Brilliant. So you've got a little PSA here. Oh
yes, Tarragon. Yeah. It's just a shout out to B Spittle for this one. On the game collection screen, I never knew this. But if you have a big collection and you've sorted your collection by letter, if you press Y, it gives you a big selector for the letters, which is like, what the hell? Why have I not known this all my life? Like that's.
I go use that because I had no idea that worked either.
Yeah, like I was like scrolling or using my triggers like a chump. It's like, no, you just press Y, go straight to the letter. Like, geez,
that's brilliant. Yeah, I need to hit that up.
What you guys actually need to do is just have a bookshelf with all your games on it. So when you want to play a game, you just take it off your bookshelf and you put it in your Xbox. And you can organize them however you want, and you don't have to circle to them.
But Randy, that means I have to stand up and like move and stuff.
Exactly.
How am I gonna play Tarragon's games if they're all over at his house?
Put them in the mail. You put them in the mail like we used to do. And
he's coming.
You say,
to America
hey,
anyways,
Tarragon, I want to play this game. Mail it to me for a week, and then you send it over in the mail, and then you play it. You put it in your console. You hold it in your hands, and you put it in your console. You appreciate it.
But what if we want to boost it together? Like, what if we want to play it together?
Well, then you both have to have a game that you can hold in your hands and appreciate. And you open it, and it's got that great new game smell.
Oh, that's the worst.
The best one. Okay, so I got a new copy of BioShock 2 a few weeks ago to boost because I didn't have any copies that were in really good shape, so I spent a couple extra dollars when I was getting a boosting copy to get one that was new and in good shape and everything. And I opened it, and man, that game had the best new game smell because it has like it's got the big thick case. It's got the good insert that's heavy on good, heavy, nice printed paper, big instruction manual, and it had like one of those like accessories inserts. Oh,
yeah,
that smell though.
You know,
it was good.
You know that
there's going to be a generation that never knows that smell.
You know,
thanks to you guys.
With cars, they've bottled the new car smell. I wonder if you could like do the same with like new game smell, which I think is probably mostly new book smell. It's kind of the printing smell.
Yeah.
So
it's just definitely some kind of inky smell.
Yeah. So
the disc too. I mean, I think the disc.
I was going to say there's also a plasticky element to it.
Yeah, the plastic chemically kind of.
Yes, definitely. The printing ads for sure. Shovelware Empire would pick that up. New game smell by Shovelware Empire.
So we should probably speak about a game that I want to market through Shovelware Empire, which will be like it's Gamer Score Simulator.
We did.
Yeah,
definitely.
We should probably do that.
Have your people call my people.
Yep.
I'm gonna go in.
Perfect. So a little bit of news from me this week. I got challenged by Skeptical Mario to a True Achievement Score challenge. He just posted it. He right now it's a 10,000 point increase up until April 20th. That's the goal. So 130 some days, and we're definitely 420. And then what? I think that puts us up to like 160 something. I don't quite remember.
By the way, Skeptical Mario is an amazing tag.
You like
awesome.
that name?
Really
so that was fun. Got that from the community. We also got a significant letter from the community, which is great. Tarragon, you wanna lead into it?
Yeah, I was BME7. He's the guy who's been challenging me to the continuous streak for the last few months. He sent me this really long and great message. I won't read it verbatim because it is rather long, but I'll also get the essence of it. And so it's a couple of questions posed to us, and also a couple of choice quotes, which I'll get to in a second.
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah,
this was fantastic.
But the condensed version of the questions is it really a good thing for the major publishers, so we're talking sort of the Microsofts or Sonys, to be fighting over getting a game out 2 weeks before the other? Is that sort of good for the industry as a whole? And I guess sort of we could probably extend that as well to games that have a month in advance on one platform versus another. Is it really worth their time doing that sort of thing? What do you guys think? What's your thoughts on that?
I think the console sales speak for themselves and say it doesn't matter, because look at now so Sony tends to be the one that does that, at least kind of from what I know of.
Yeah.
Where you say, okay, Destiny, you get this thing 2 weeks early, you get this update 2 weeks early. You know, it's got PlayStation on all the ads, but it's coming out on Xbox at the same time. And Xbox is outselling PlayStation.
Yeah,
I think that's unrelated though.
Yeah.
But the other thing is 2 weeks is not enough to sway someone and say, I really want that 2 weeks early. I'm going to go buy a PS4 and ditch my Xbox. I'm going to go buy an Xbox and ditch my PS4. But when you start getting into months and years early, that's when I think it's significant. So like, you know, Tomb Raider was an Xbox exclusive for a year, right? For Rise of the Tomb Raider or
Yep.
So that is something to say, hey, well, maybe I should get a PC. Maybe I should get an Xbox because I want to get in on this while it's still relevant, where 2 weeks is like, whatever.
Yeah, but on the other side of that, though, is that there are people who are buying the super duper deluxe expanded edition plus alpha with their 4 days of preview buying, and people are buying that mostly because they get to play the game 4 days before everybody else does. So there's certainly.
But would they have bought the super mega ultra anyway?
Well, probably not. I know some people who wouldn't have. Like they may have, but it's more they've kind of got pushed over the edge because they wanted to get the game early. But the thing is, there's I suppose a difference there between spending an extra $40 or something like that on a game versus I'll buy a whole new console. So yeah.
Well, I'll buy a whole new console and abandon all of the commitment I've already made on this console, like my profile, my content, my game progress. Like, so if I buy Destiny on Xbox and now suddenly I'm really into it and I've made this progress, I've built these characters, I have these people I play with, and suddenly, I want this 2 weeks early and I want these updates the day they come out, not 2 weeks late.
Yeah.
You have to start over on that other platform.
With different people because, your friends don't come across.
Exactly.
That was actually
the thing, though. Oh, go ahead, Prue.
I was just going to say that was going to be my question was is there a game? I mean, we are the edge case in this scenario. We're not like undecideds going in, should I buy this for PlayStation? Should I buy this for Xbox? I mean, we are the Xbox people. But is there a game that even you would consider buying a PlayStation 4? Like if they said this game X is now only coming out, not even just for a week or a month or a year, but just exclusive. Is there anything that you wouldn't even have to quote unquote jump ship, but you would have to buy a whole new system for?
Last of Us, and Smash Brothers.
Last of Us is probably the main one for me. The Uncharted series has always interested me, but I've never been exposed to it enough to say yes, I should get that. But it's been one that's been, it's kind of the must-have. But yeah, it's probably not enough of a pull, and I guess that's just more that I'm an achievement hunter and I have a huge kind of vested interest in the Xbox ecosystem. So,
yeah, and then I totally agree with that. I think you guys are taking it from the wrong perspective. It's from the perspective of Johnny doesn't give a crap about games. Like, that guy is the one who you're trying to court because, and I specifically remember this when Destiny was coming out because with PlayStation locking exclusivity on Destiny, there was a large group of people who thought Destiny was only available on PlayStation because of the PlayStation logo at the end of the commercial. Same thing with, Microsoft trying to grab the rights to whatever marketing rights they can get. And it's that perception saying, even the comment of play it first on Xbox or get content first on PlayStation, because that's a factual statement and you get to reiterate the brand with which you should associate that product with, you ingrain people to think it's only available on that. Of course, we're, significant gamers and we stay attuned to all this news, but it's the same people we talked about last week who see the ad on the bus and they say, "Oh, there's a new Doom out? I had no idea." Yeah, look, there's a big Xbox logo over there.
I was actually thinking that as well. It's a lot of these things are not necessarily targeted at people who already have consoles. They might be targeted more at people who haven't gone into this generation yet and are the new console buyers. And if they are going to get the game that they're most interested in earlier as a result, then yes, they're probably going to go and buy the console that game is on first. I mean, that just makes sense.
And hence all the bundles, right? Like, Battlefield 1. I'm so excited for Battlefield 1. Oh, look, there's an Xbox bundle. That's a great way to get a free game that I want and upgrade to the system that I can play it on.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm in.
Whereas, otherwise the actual consoles themselves are essentially completely interchangeable in their mind. It's just the way it is. So it'll be whatever game is available that you want will dictate which way you go as far as the console goes. So yeah, I could see that being part of it. How big a part of the industry it is, I guess, is the question.
It's big enough to keep doing it.
I suppose so.
Go
ahead.
I think it's a good point with the PlayStation logo, play it first on Xbox, for sure. But in terms of the early content, I don't think that matters. I don't think Joe, who doesn't care, maybe doesn't even care about getting it on day one, just cares about getting it at some point in the next 2 months. But definitely where you trick people into thinking, oh, this is only on PlayStation. That is worth. I think that would be worthwhile. But like the 2 weeks early on Destiny for the update, I don't think so.
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, whether you bought Destiny on PlayStation or Xbox, you were bamboozled either way. But that's really not my point.
Son of a.
But no, Freeman, I asked that question earlier, and like I literally bought a Wii U for Smash Brothers. Like I bought a system for a game, and we've probably all done that in the past. But now that we've kind of defined this, I guess and boiled it down, the question is, it isn't for us. These things aren't going to affect our decisions, but it must have some impact, right? It has to have some impact because they keep doing this stuff, and it must be effective in some way. Because I guess if you walk into a Best Buy and you see, and you're like on the fence, do I want an Xbox? Do I want a PlayStation? I don't know. I want to play something, and then you see, oh, there's the Battlefield Xbox, and it's like everything I want right there. I just want to play Battlefield. There it is on a box. I got it. That's it. That's got to have some. That's got to have some influencing power for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to think of all those big box stores, right? Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, Target. You pick your chain, right, and go into the electronics department. Do you think you have a high probability of getting someone who's very knowledgeable of those items in that location? Yeah. I'd probably say 50%, maybe.
Probably not. I wouldn't even say at GameStop.
Well, there you go.
You go into an exclusively game store, and you're probably not going to get someone who's knowledgeable.
Right. So you got mom saying, my son wants to play. He wants the new Call of Fighter something. And that's like how she presents it. It's like some game, some shooter thing. I don't know. He talks about it at school. Because mom's clueless. Oh, well, yeah, the new Call of Duty just came out, and you can get it right here for PlayStation. Because that's the marketing. That's all I know. Kid doesn't care, mom doesn't care, nobody cares. It's just what's easier, and that's how the marketing works. You appeal your marketing to the uneducated or uninformed. Uneducated is the wrong word. The uninformed consumer.
Yeah,
and they'll gobble it up because that's what's being presented. It's super lucrative because you have so many people who don't want to spend the time to learn about a product.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing is marketing like that is always multifaceted. There are many different demographics that they target towards. And for those kind of things, we're like us as hardcore gamers are not the target for those particular ads or those particular promotions. That's the matter of fact. So to me, it makes no difference, but to a lot of Joe average people, it would be an influencer.
I've got another example for you. Now that I have lead a slightly healthier lifestyle and I've cut out sugary cereals, right? I don't buy sugary cereals anymore. I eat other things for breakfast. But I will walk down the cereal aisle, and if the box has a big yellow star with blue writing that says new, you damn right I'm putting that in my case. It could be, it could just be repackaged peanut butter crunch, and it just says new on it. I'm like, oh, what'd they change? Oh, no, they put chocolate in there? Okay, yeah, I'll take a box.
Give it a shot. New reprocessed sugar.
Yeah, or is that a new can? A new can for Mountain Dew? I don't drink soda anymore, but it's new. Mountain Dew Game Fuel. It's new.
Gotta try it.
It's Mango Sizzle or something. I don't know what that is, but I need to buy it. It's new, and I fall for that.
So now, do you eat and drink this, or do you just buy it and take it home?
No, I still have a case of Game Fuel from the Titanfall release like a few months ago, and I'll have like my one soda in a month and be like, this is my little treat, and I'll hide it from everyone because I feel guilty about eating it. But I mean,
did you try Crystal Pepsi or no?
Dear Lord, you have a complex already.
Yeah, I had a glass of Crystal Pepsi before it.
Right. I do remember you got that when you went to your cabin or something, right? Yeah.
Cabin in the woods.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
So, but again,
Where nobody
there's
could see
marketing,
him.
right? It may not be new. It may not be, it might be 6 months old, but they have a new logo and it caught my eye. And you know what? I'm interested now. I wasn't interested before, but now I am. Oh, there's a new box with Titanfall on it. Oh, I didn't know there's a new Titanfall coming out. I'm interested now. So there you go. So thank you, Beer Me. That was an awesome question.
Yep. He had a second one as well, which was about the Scorpio. Did you want to go into that?
Let's do it.
Yep. So he asks, and I'm rewriting this, but do you think the Scorpio will be a true gaming upgrade or more of a media hub? And he's referencing in particular that a lot of the ads for this sort of the Xbox at the moment seem to be more targeted towards it being a kind of media hub or essentially a 4K DVD player. So yeah, what do you guys think?
I think I'm kind of not rainy on this one. I think the current ads are really pushing that basically what sold PS3s was that it was a Blu-ray player that was half the price of a Blu-ray player that also played games. So I think what Xbox is trying to do is, hey, here's a 4K Blu-ray player that's a third of the price of a 4K Blu-ray player. Oh, and it's also an Xbox One that's better than the old one.
Precisely. I think it's actually pushing the point of their main point of distinction with PlayStation at the moment is PlayStation does not have this thing, and they both came out with their new model, and the point of distinction is that the S is just the better system for that sort of thing, and particularly because it can do 4K, high level DVD. Or Blu-ray, sorry. So yeah, I think it's more about the point of distinction than it is about necessarily marketing it as a media hub and going back into the bad old days of the Xbox One launch.
And I think with the Scorpio that the hardware is too high end to justify pushing it as a media hub. It's going to be too expensive. Because even the Xbox One was what, $500 US when it launched with the Kinect. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, you've got the Kinect. Okay, you can justify spending a little more on that. You get it early. So, okay, yeah, it does all this cool media stuff too, but it's still my gaming console. But the Scorpio, I think we're going to have $500 bare minimum on the Scorpio. I think it's going to be at least that much. Totally disagree. No?
$399.
You think?
$399. They will loss lead the hell out of this thing to catch up to Sony, beat them off the gate. They're already a year behind. They will $399 because they will use the statement starting at $399. That will be your base level introductory price. You're not going to get any hard drive space, and
4 megabytes.
You may not. Yeah, you may not get other.
Yeah, just megabytes, literally. Yeah,
right. Literally, it might be. I was just listening to an old TXR, and they were talking about, you might just get your OS on a solid state drive, and you have to plug in external hard drives. I don't care. I mean, unless it's going to really negatively impact my gaming, but ultimately, I will get base level introductory price starting at $399, and I think your most common. The SKU that you're going to want is going to be $499, or they may also do a kind of what they did with the One S, that special limited edition 2 terabyte at the higher price point,
where
and
you
say, hey,
gotta pay the high price early.
You can get your Scorpio 1 month early. And it's limited edition. We'll give you a sticker and extra hard drive space, but it's going to cost you $550, $600. I don't. That one can get crazy because you're getting your early adopters who are like, I don't even care what it is. I don't. But you give me whatever. And then if you waited a month, you could save $100, but you'd have to wait a month. I could totally see that happening.
I think either way, though, it's going to be too much to justify for a media center especially when you have the One S alongside it, which will probably drop in price when the Scorpio comes in and you say, hey, here's an Xbox, it's a media center, and if you're a real gamer, get this one.
Yeah,
this is the one
I think they will definitely be pushing
for gaming.
They'll definitely be pushing the gaming aspect of the Scorpio. I can't see them not. I mean, that was the entire point of the 6.5 teraflops kind of thing. They're pushing the fact that it's the most powerful console that's ever been released, and we'll be able to do things.
It's all about timing.
Yeah, and
it's all about timing. So what's happening right now is the industry is not ready for 4K, right? There are so few 4K TVs in the general market that people need to adopt that technology. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to, use all these new systems that are coming out. So you're pushing the 4K. It's a 4K player. It's a 4K this. Everything's 4K. Oh, gosh, you know what? I should probably this Christmas buy a 4K TV because it sounds like everything's going to be 4K. And you're getting people so that they can adopt it, because then when you show the games at E3, you can actually see on your 4K TV what a 4K display looks like. Because right now, nobody can see it. And it happened with the PlayStation when they showed their video, and it's like, here is Horizon Zero Dawn, and here is the new Horizon Zero Dawn. It's like, I'm looking on my piece of crap laptop here. So what? You got more sun flare? You got I can't tell a difference.
Yeah, my laptop screen isn't even 1080p. Like my laptop is so old, it's not 1080p.
See? And that's exactly
my monitor I game on is 1080p, but not my computer.
So how are you supposed to promote how awesome these things look if most people can't tell on a commercial or unless they're physically there? You need to get the install base of those TVs higher. So if you keep promoting the fact that you've got a 4K Blu-ray player, a 4K UHD drive in there, hey, this Christmas you might want to think about buying a 4K device. It's about, and that's why they're doing it now. The games are going to come. E3 is going to be all games. I'm not going to say 100% games, but it will be like in the 90% for games at the Xbox. This is what the Scorpio is going to bring. Launch titles, all games, all the time.
Yep.
I feel like I need to rain on you right now. A little too positive, a little too enthusiastic.
Well, how about
it's completely unlike Frame 2 to be so positive like this.
I know, but this is like exceptionally positive.
But it's not even positive. I'm
excited.
I am excited. I am excited about the future.
Too
of
excited.
It. I mean,
not allowed to be that excited, Frame. You're not allowed to have that much excitement on the podcast.
They were talking about the NPDs for November, and they said, well, PlayStation outsold Xbox One in November. Of course, PlayStation came out with their new PS4 Pro, and it's like, the new console. Yeah, you bet they did. Well, I just saw the numbers, and PS4 sold 1.1 million units. Xbox One sold 1 million units. There's only 100,000 difference there. And so, I mean, in the 4 months prior, Xbox
only sold a million. They only sold 1 million PS4 Pros.
PS4's total, yeah.
PS4 total.
That's pretty rough.
Then, 68,000 PSVRs I saw.
And Xbox won Black Friday as well, which I'd say they kind of made up the difference there. I think on Black Friday sales, it was always expected that PlayStation was probably going to win in November, but Xbox has been they've been pretty much neck and neck the last few months, if not in a little bit in favor of Xbox. So it's been sort of.
I agree, and
good.
So this is their opportunity to capitalize on the gaffes that PlayStation has made, and what I really like is that the two cycles now are broken. That we got PS4 Pro. When Scorpio comes out, it's going to be dramatically different from the Pro, and then Sony's Counterpunch 2 years after that is going to be way different than the Scorpio, and now we're going to be leapfrogging back and forth, and people are going to keep trying to outdo each other. That's what's really exciting, is now you're at a point where it's not you come out with two nearly identical consoles and it's like, okay, we'll just fight this out. Now it's, that's what they got? Well, I'm gonna increase it by another 50%. Well, you think you're gonna do that? I'm gonna increase mine by 50%. And now you got this, whose thing is longer contest going on, and it's who's gonna win? Gamers. It's gonna be great. How can you not be excited about that? We're going to win, Randy. We are going to win.
And of course we're not going to win. We have to buy a new console every 2 years now.
We'll just do the upgrades like a cell phone.
You have 8 consoles.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
That's what they're going to announce in July. The Xbox leasing program.
Outright, because I don't want to be stuck on their stupid plans. I want to be stuck on their stupid locked in with their dumb bloatware. Just buy it from the manufacturer and use it for 4 years. It's cheaper.
All right.
Anyway.
Let's finish out Beer Me's comments with a few of the choice gems here. Crandy.
He had a couple of comments about Crandy in particular. He basically said, "Sorry for the long message. Hope I don't come off as pure Crandish, aka a Chernobyl style rain cloud." Is his quote about you, Randy?
And serious rain cloud.
Yeah, that's yeah.
You gotta just read this verbatim. This is great.
All right. So let's see.
Also, anybody on my job site that begins to bitch about the day, calling them all Crandy asses. And when they say, "Do you mean candy ass?" I reply, No. Z is Z. Look it up. And it's turned into this huge inside joke about being a Crandy ass when you just want to complain about everything. It's fantastic.
That's hilarious. I feel like I should visit this job site. Like, I should be like, yeah,
go and dress up as a rain cloud. And so.
Well, no, I can wear my rain cloud outfit because I do have my rain cloud outfit. It's all gray.
Now here he does spin it around, gives a PS. He says, "I love the pod and it wouldn't work without Crandy. I love what he's trying to," and he uses an expletive, "poop on everyone's parade. The whole world can't be full of Freem's unicorns pooping out gold rainbows," or whatever that twisted YouTube channel about unicorn poo he enjoys from the other episode. Just busting your chops. Keep up the great work. We'll see you at the 90-day mark. And he's from Minnesota, too. I feel like we got
so many Minnesotans that listen to the
weird.
Podcast. It's kind of ridiculous.
It's because Minnesota is just a great place to live. That's your problem.
Yeah,
you live in the cesspool of New York. We live in the beautiful, frigid Minnesota.
I mean, I wouldn't quite call it
so
a
many
cesspool.
gamers because it's so cold. You can't go outside and do anything. So everybody just gets to play video games.
It's cold here too. It's like it was winter today. Like it smelled like winter. It tasted like winter in the air. It felt like winter. Was winter.
Did it have that new winter smell?
Yeah.
Was it because of the raccoon?
Okay. All right.
Next week will not.
Like
it will struggle to get out of below zero for us next week.
Like there is a distinct smell of fall that I hadn't smelled in like 3 years because it doesn't happen in California because California doesn't have fall. New York has fall and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
kind of. I mean, until it gets cold.
Until it gets cold, I was going to say.
I wish it was the same temperature and nice all year like it was in California. It was nice for a day. Or a couple of days. I had the window open even though it was cold just because I like to smell it.
A good weekend. Yeah, for sure.
As much as my wife does not want me to do this, we are getting a Minnesota meet together at some point. So we'll get beer me, mango, Weasel Pizza, X Towers, me. We'll just have this awesome Z barbecue or something in this summer. It's
not that far. I mean, I might come by for that.
We'll bring in Silence 42. You can come over from South Dakota. That's real close.
How far a drive is Minnesota
from
New York?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's only about 20 hours.
Fly it is then.
Not so bad.
I always fly through Minnesota when I travel.
Oh yeah, we're flyover country. We're totally flyover country.
Yeah, it's not a place you want to stop and stay necessarily. It's just kind of wave as you go by.
No, if you stop, you will live here. That's the problem.
I'm kidding.
I used to drive out to New Jersey all the time. I have a bunch of relatives out in New Jersey, and so we would drive from Minnesota.
20-hour drive.
It's roughly 20.
Is it really that far?
We drive straight through. It's 1,200 miles, roughly.
Is it that far?
Yeah,
I feel like it's not that far.
Have you not, Randy? Have you seen a map of America since you've come here, or do you know?
Hey, easy. He's from Canada, okay?
No, see, here we go into something that I have struggled with my entire life. I have a really, really, really hard time with geography. Like just like conceptually in my mind, like a while ago, like I thought Minnesota was like next to Washington, like Washington State for like 6 months. And like my whole concept of where things were was just totally skewed because I had like flipped Minnesota and Ohio or something. And then I was like, we were talking about traveling and I'm like, but isn't Minnesota like right there? And then you got to fly so far and like make pizzas here. Like that was part of my reference was McPizza, and it was just a disaster. So pretty much any type of direction or geography related thing is just ignore what I'm saying because it's nonsense, because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
That's all right. You know Australia is right next to Brazil, right?
Of course.
Well, if you played Forza Horizon 3, Australia is pretty tiny. I mean, you can drive across the whole country.
You can see all of the major milestones, or like all of the major things to see in Australia within about a 3-mile radius. It's great.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
That actually reminds me, Tarragon, how do you feel about Kangaroo Gate, Punch Kangaroo Gate, where that guy literally punched that kangaroo in the face? Have you seen this video?
So funny.
This is incredible.
It's amazing.
I have not seen that. So.
Oh, okay. So this is like super viral in America right now.
Okay.
It's super amazing.
This guy, I guess his dog is getting choked out, which is apparently something kangaroos do. He's getting choked out by this kangaroo, and this guy just runs up to him, like puts his fist up in front of his face like he's about to box this kangaroo, and just wallops him right in the face. And the kangaroo, just completely stunned, just stops.
He's just like, what just happened? And he's just like, let's go the dog. And then the guy just walks away.
He just walks away. No big deal. I just punched a kangaroo. It's awesome. Anyways, I'm surprised you haven't seen it. It's big right now. But.
It's amazing.
That does remind me of another kangaroo-related anecdote. There was a video of showing a bug in Forza Horizon 3 where they replaced one of the, there's a major mechanic character in that, and they actually replaced his model with a kangaroo, and so there's like this kangaroo walking up and talking. It was pretty it's just like, what? And they're saying we totally should have left that in the game. But
there you go.
It should have at least been an option.
Yeah. It's a little Easter egg.
Absolutely. So let's move on. And thank you, Beer Me, for that awesome set of questions and dialogue. That was a lot of fun. We got a bunch of new listeners. Been a lot of people reaching out from X1 Bros community, from all over the place. It's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and I'm so happy you guys are all here listening. And I had a private message on TA that I want to reach out to Gruesome Disaster. So, and it's spelled Gru, like eaten by a Gru. Isn't that that's how it's normally spelled, right? Gruesome. Anyway, he says, hey, I've been listening to the podcast for a couple of weeks now, whenever I can at work. I'm only on your 16th episode, but I'm slowly but surely catching up and loving it all. Keep up the good work. And so I replied to him. I said, well, once you get up to episode 52, you're going to be in for a real treat, because I'm going to say your name and read this comment out loud. So you just hang on, keep listening. You'll get your shout out. So awesome. Thank you, Gruesome, for being a new listener. Really appreciate it. And again, another one of our new listeners, Foo Foo Cuddly Poof. You don't like the way I say that?
That's just funny. Doughboy.
Come on.
Foo Foo Cuddly Poof.
Too much excitement. This is not okay.
He actually he came up with a really cool contest idea. He had a new idea for a challenge, and so he actually typed it out on his phone in Note and then tweeted it to me because he didn't know a good way to get it to me. It's brilliant, and it kind of reminded me of, you guys remember at the Achievement Hunts community when I did the A to Z challenge? It's kind of like that, only he does it with the games that we are working on each month. And so I'm gonna kind of play with this a little bit, and totally give him credit when we come up with how this contest works moving forward. But and if any of our listeners out there, if you guys have any ideas of contests you want to see or something that is interesting to you, we totally would be willing to put this, some effort behind it into the show. If it's fun and people want to do it, that's great. I personally don't host any gamerscore competitions. It's just not my thing. I'm way too casual of a gamer to do it. I want to be unlocking individual achievements or have fun doing, kind of lower scale, less stressful things. But if there's a community out there that wants to have a gamerscore challenge, I'm sure we can figure out a way to do it. Maybe use the 30-day leaderboard or something. I don't know. So, yeah, if you guys have any ideas out there, things that you want to do as part of the community, make your voices heard. Find a way to reach out to us. Private messages at TA, contact@zz.com. Those are all great. Yep, our email address. I mean, those are all great avenues to reach out. We love hearing from you. And, of course, we couldn't have this show without you. So
I'll just point out there's also private messages on the forums.
That's right.
There's lots of ways you can get in contact with us. So Twitter is not the only way, particularly for the long form. You probably want to pick something other than Twitter. But yeah, anyway.
There it is. All right. Let's move into some of this, some of the news items that we have here. One thing I want to mention quick, and it'll just be real brief. Battleborn is getting a big winter update, and the only reason I mention this is that it actually it'll make getting achievements easier. The game has a bunch of achievements associated with each character, and the way that it was set up before is you had to unlock each character through progression on those challenges. Well, the new winter update opens them all up. So they're all open from the start, and of course, we mentioned a long time ago that they actually decreased a lot of the needs for this game for each individual character, made it a lot easier to get the achievements. Now, I personally don't have any experience with that, but I had talked about last show trying to get a Destiny crew together on maybe Tuesday nights. Well, if we had a Battleborn crew together, I might be willing to work on some of those achievements too. So one of those two games, maybe we alternate. I don't know, but I'm thinking January, guys. Battleborn is real cheap these days. It's like $10. So if you pick it up this holiday, I'm definitely looking for gaming. How about you guys? Yeah. All right, Prue. We'll set it up. That's two legs. You can have 5. You can have up to 5, I think. So that'll be fun.
Maybe. Except time zones.
Yeah. Time zones.
Do you need to work though? Really?
Warcraft? No, it's working through lunch. You just game through lunch.
What's work? What's that?
Work? All right. Hey, Dead Rising came out, guys. Are you excited for this game? What is that, Crandy? You not excited?
No.
Why are you not excited? It's a new zombie game.
I'm really upset about Dead Rising 4, actually. So I was excited. I love Frank because, as we know, I love Dead Rising 1, and they're talking about, yay, let's go back to our roots. Let's go back to our roots. Let's do this. So what do? Let's go back to our roots, and that means let's take Frank West, or the name Frank West, and slap it on Saints Row 4. Because that's what Dead Rising 4 is.
I love Saints Row 4, though.
Wait, so they're like, it's in a virtual world? What is this?
Making it better.
If only. Actually, if it wasn't a virtual world, they might be able to redeem themselves later.
So Frank West was abducted by aliens and then put into a
reverse aging
after
machine.
He became president of the United States.
Yeah, this sounds awesome.
Okay,
it's
so anyway.
all in the place.
So now I will preface this with I have not played Dead Rising 4 yet. This is based on...
Who do you think will be better as president, Trump or Frank West?
Frank West. I don't even know who Frank West is. I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
How do you not know who Frank West is?
Well, I mean, I guess I know he's from Dead Rising, but it doesn't matter. He's going to...
I mean, you should know, like, Frank... even if you haven't played Dead Rising, Frank West is legendary.
He's covered wars,
He is hardcore.
I know that. I have that.
Anyway, yeah. I'll preface, I have not played it. This is just from things I've read and kind of my general sense of where this was going based on other things that have gone this way. So, they, quote, listen to the fans. I don't know what fans they were listening to. They took Frank West. Okay, people wanted more Frank West. But this is not Frank West. This is Frank West. I think the game takes place 18 years after Dead Rising 1. Frank looks like he has aged 18 years in reverse. He looks 20. Don't know why.
Zombrex. That's at Zombrex.
Apparently, but he's like cured or something because you don't need Zombrex anymore. So I don't know what that's about. Then there's like new zombies. These are new zombies that they were trying to like make to be like retail slaves or something for Black Friday, and then it was an outbreak, and then it's like this story
Spoilers,
that they hired.
Man. Spoilers.
They hired 3 writers to work on about like some anti-consumerism thing, and this game is the marketing for this game is everywhere. This is like the most marketed Dead Rising ever. And you're saying, this is about anti-consumerism, and it's appealing to the lowest common denominator because they dumbed it down to nothing.
Frank West, Dead.
Frank West, well, the first one was like Dawn of the Dead.
Let
was
me
good.
add something to that marketing. And this, I am so upset that I fell for this. I watched it on Twitter, and it popped up, and it said, Frank West live on Facebook. And what was the word they used? Because when I reread it, I'm like, that's how they got me. Reacting to your tweets. Okay. So I was like, oh, Frank West, huh? And it was that, that I had mentioned that Yule log in front of the fire. It's that scene, right? They had built a set, and Frank West with his little Christmas light baseball bat sitting in a Barca lounger holding his phone. He does not talk. He is literally looking at his phone, doing kind of faces, smirking, looking up left wistfully, like doing these things, and like, I mean, and then when I read it, I was just unbelievable.
And that's the new Frank West, like the obsessed Frank West that aged backwards and does not have the same voice. He doesn't have the same voice. They picked a different voice actor. The other guy was available. They just didn't use him.
See that
they're going back to their roots. You see, they want to go back to their roots by slapping the name Frank West on a Dead Rising game. And the other things, they went back to the roots. There's no survivors. Well, there are. You just save them and then they drop items and run away. Those are the survivors. There's no psychopaths.
Like that, though. That I don't like.
There's no psychopaths. They call them weirdos or something. It's not weirdos, but it's like that. It's the same thing. They don't have a story. They're just there. They're like the people in sandbox mode. They're just there and they just attack you because apparently the psychos were they didn't fit in the story because these guys really fit in the story. There was no time at all. Zero. Like, I get it in Dead Rising 3, time was a thing people didn't like. Okay, you give them more time. There's no time. You can take as long as you want. No time at all. Selfies. I mean, it's selfies the game, apparently, with bad jokes. But as the developer said, we don't want to force the funny. The funny was there in Dead Rising 1 subtly. That's not forcing the funny. Frank making stupid jokes all the time, it's not funny. That's forcing the funny. The other thing they went back to the roots, zombies aren't aggressive at night. These are new zombies.
Well, it wouldn't make sense.
They're just zombies.
Yeah, well.
So basically what's happened is, and as they were saying, we're going back to our roots because Dead Rising is all about killing zombies, which it's really not. Zombies are there. They're supposed to be dangerous. That's not the point of the game. It's fun. It can be fun. It's part of the game, but that's not the core. So basically these zombies are totally harmless. You're so invincible, even from the beginning, that the zombies are harmless. There's no sense of danger. There's no sense of urgency, which are both things that I
did watch some gameplay, and it did seem like actually the zombies were there was quite a sense of urgency from the gameplay I saw, and Frank was getting
urgency as in lack of time.
Well, yeah, but
lack of time or
the section they were going through was a case of, well, okay, I'm running away from these. I'm getting flooded with zombies. I need to get the hell out of here. Go over to this thing, open the door. Oh, crap, there's just a ton more zombies there. Oh, great. I have to go through this.
See, clearly the person forgot to pick up the exosuit because apparently it's exosuit the game also. There's also health packs. So food does not take up inventory space. So you don't even have to manage scarcity of items anymore. There's a separate food inventory, so you can always have food, and you just hit a button and you just heal. Like, it's not like food is health packs, and there's no mixed food anymore. There's no juice. Juice is gone. Which I feel like juice is a pretty core part of Dead Rising. Yeah, we're gonna go back to our roots.
Quick step, man.
Exactly. So yeah, it's basically not Dead Rising anymore.
Well, I'll given you haven't played it, I'll take that opinion on advisement. I'd like to see you actually play the game and then come back with it. But I do hear your criticisms, and it sounds like there are a few issues, but it may well be that the game is still fun. So
the other thing too is, like, I have a big problem with the removal of time because although some people didn't like time, I didn't like time at first either. But once you figure out how the game works, I feel like that added a lot of character to the game because
it did. However, I also know a lot of people who just wouldn't touch the game because they really, really hated the idea of having their gameplay determined by a time-based mechanic like that. Like, really, really hated it. So, there
is a perfect opportunity to solve that problem with the sandbox mode.
Well, yeah, which they kind of tried to do with Off the Record, but I don't know. I mean, the main primary story, the main campaign of it, still had a time mode, and I guess that was why they sort of switched with Dead Rising 3 to remove that.
Then
and had it as an optional.
I don't know.
But
it's kind of the thing that it's the survival aspect.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
have to have some penalty.
Yeah, I personally really liked
dilly-dallying.
But I know it's the same thing that put people off Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns, is that's basically a timed mode or a timed game. You repeat the same game over, but you have a timed game and you need to get a perfect run, essentially, through all of the timed sort of mechanisms that make a part of that game. But that put a lot of people off because they really hated having that kind of limitation on their freedom to explore, I guess, is what's going on. So
yeah, with that freedom to explore, you can fill that with a sandbox mode, and then when you want to go back to story and do the story in the timed kind of live, and it added so much character because you could only do certain. I mean, unless you're doing a perfect run, you would see different things happen at different times of the day. You could, you had to pick between Survivor A and Survivor B. You couldn't save them both because you didn't have time.
Yeah,
and
for sure. And I certainly, I personally like that mechanic, but that I can just say that I think that I'm probably in the minority. I think a lot of people were really put off by that particular mechanic. Yeah. So I can see why they went that way.
That goes with the watering and the dumbing down, which is really my biggest criticism here is it's the same thing that Saints Row did, is you took this thing that was so great and then you just took it so far, like you just watered it down so far that it's just lost, you lost all of the character and just made it just generic and appeal to the lowest common denominator, which apparently buys more games. Well, so I think that's the way Dead Rising's going. I mean, I get it. I get why it's done. I just think it's very unfortunate that it went downhill so quickly.
I guess there's a parallel to be drawn there between the earlier Assassin's Creed, like Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood and Revelations. They had sections in there which were actually puzzle modes where you had to kind of work out like a seriously difficult puzzle in some cases. And they removed that in later versions, I think from Assassin's Creed 3 and on, that just wasn't there anymore. And I actually really liked those parts of it, but I can see why they removed it, because for people who didn't enjoy that particular gameplay, it was a complete blocker because they couldn't proceed in the game without getting past this bit. And if they didn't particularly enjoy that particular gameplay, I could see people putting the game down at that point and stopping playing. So I can certainly see why developers would go in those directions and remove those kind of things, even though they appeal to a certain percentage of gamers highly. The vast majority will probably get blocked at those points, and so they've kind of got to... I mean, it's a big AAA game. They've got to appeal to the masses that are going to buy the game and not have blockers in there for the small people.
And I guess that's the thing with Dead Rising. Dead Rising 2, though, is like it was never to the point where if you were just going through the story, time was never going to inhibit you from completing the story. It's
just if you want to do anything else, then
if you want to do everything, okay, you're going to have to master the game, but that's fine. You play it twice. I guess 2.5 times.
The other criticism there, though, is that sometimes in Dead Rising 2, I found, or even in Dead Rising 1, I'd find that there are points where you've gotten the story so far, but then you have to wait another 12 hours of game time before you can proceed. And that's
a skip time would have been fantastic.
Yeah, and that's another criticism of that particular mechanic, I guess, is that people who want to just play through the campaign and through the story and want to unlock it don't want to have to wait either, because that's the time mechanic is getting in their way there of getting through the game further. So there's sort of two edges to that, I guess.
And I'd be very open to revamping the time mechanic too. But it's just something that, I mean, I feel like half of Dead Rising is the danger and survival, which is now just
Yeah, well,
gone.
yeah. I mean, you're basing that again off things that you've heard and not actually playing the game.
Yeah,
so I'd say
we'll see.
Go play the game, and
I'll revisit eventually. I'm not buying it at full price. No way. There's no way I'm supporting this at full price. But it is, and I guess on time again is you look at a game like Zelda Majora's Mask. Did anybody complain about time in that game?
I'm sure a lot of people
I don't know.
actually.
I mean, that's
I'm pretty sure
but
That existed before the internet, right?
it's just like
yes,
it was so beautifully done in that game.
Yeah, Majora's Mask, I think, is a pretty divisive game, though. I think Prue might be able to fill me in, but it was interesting. I attended a talk at PAX Melbourne, where one of the guys had actually written a full thesis on Majora's Mask and some of the game, sort of how it actually usurped a lot of the sort of normalities of games that we would be used to. They actually did a lot of things completely differently in Majora's Mask. Like, it's probably the only Zelda game that doesn't actually have Zelda in it. And a bunch of other things that just don't happen in the Zelda universe. And he wrote this whole interesting thesis on it. It was part of a talk on horror, actually. And there's actually a bunch of kind of horror-related themes that go along with that particular mechanic that goes on in Majora's Mask. It's a pretty interesting title to look at. But I'm pretty sure just from the description of the game and how it works, it's going to have exactly the same kind of complaints that Dead Rising would have for its time construction and repeating time and things like that. So,
and looking back at Majora's Mask, when I first played, I had no idea what it was. I had no clue. It came with my GameCube. I'd never played it before. And I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. Like, I didn't get this whole time thing. I had like the moon kill me a couple times or whatever happened. And it was frustrating for like the first couple of times, just kind of figuring out how it works. But if you play it for more than those 2 hours, you start to appreciate what that adds to the game and how that's a really cool mechanic, that it gives you that sense of urgency. It gives you that I need to finish this so I can reset this and continue playing. And it's kind of the same thing with Dead Rising, where, okay, yes, the time is frustrating at first because you don't understand how it works. It's like, I didn't really understand how it works. I mean, I guess, okay, there's a timer, but like the whole like saving your stats and starting over thing with Dead Rising, I mean, I guess it's not quite as core to the gameplay as it is in Majora's Mask, but I don't know. I feel like that I personally think Majora's Mask is better than Ocarina of Time.
No, well, then you're wrong.
One of my favorite Zeldas.
It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, I know. I'm going against the normal thing.
Well, it's not even the normal thing. I mean, it is, I guess.
The normal thing of people thinking everybody thinks Ocarina of Time is the best game ever made.
So I can't. I mean, I couldn't. Obviously, when you guys had argued about. Literally had a debate about Dead Rising before. I couldn't enter that space because I've never played those games properly. I can enter this space very clearly. Majora's Mask, an amazing game, in fact. But the fact is that mechanic is so central and so divisive to that game that either you can deal with it or you can't. And it's not. It doesn't. The thing is, Majora's Mask is an amazing time management game, period. But if you don't like that mechanic, it's not, you can't do it. You can't get behind it. You can't, that's the whole point of the game, So it's such a departure from what Ocarina of Time did that it's very difficult for a lot of people to go from that to that. So I get what you're trying to say. If Dead Rising also has this huge departure from what it was before, if Dead Rising was as steeped in that kind of a mechanic as Zelda, then it's tough because you're now splitting your audience like immediately. So it's a tough kind of a thing to try to pull off.
So it's probably worth mentioning that Dead Rising 3 actually also did away with the time limitations. They actually added them as kind of bonus modes. You could play the game with those time limitations turned on. But
there was always a time limitation. It was just very generous.
Right.
So you had, if you didn't play on Nightmare mode, you had, I don't know, 5 days. 5 or 6 days, which it was essentially 3.
It was essentially you didn't have to think about time.
And there was a time limit, not a time requirement. So theoretically you could finish the whole game in day one if you could do it fast enough.
Right.
You didn't have to wait the 12 hours in between cases. You didn't have to come back at 12 a.m. on day 2 to get this scoop or whatever.
Yeah.
Which my thing with that is at least it was still there. Like, it wasn't urgent, but at least, things still happened at this time. Well, no, I guess they didn't. They happened when you triggered them. Yeah, they pretty much did away with it. Okay.
Yeah.
They pretended it was still there.
Whereas they added it back in as an optional thing for the people who wanted to play that particular type of game mode. And if you wanted all the achievements, you would have had to be forced to do that. But
kind of. They just gave you less time. It still didn't introduce the old time. I mean,
I thought they did.
Time just moved faster. It was the same amount of time, but your days went faster.
Okay.
I think it still said 5 days.
They were already going that way in Dead Rising 3, so yeah, doing away with it in Dead Rising 4 is not a huge surprise. Anyway, yes, Frame.
I think it's time we moved on.
Yes.
Okay.
Or how about we take a little time to think back? Go back to our childhood. Maybe
put on my nostalgia glasses.
Maybe a little nostalgia. What do you got for me?
So I just thought this was funny because I'm sure we all remember, being longtime gamers, that when you opened up a game, it had a little registration card in it. When was the last time we saw a registration card in one of our games that you would mail in? You would fill it out and mail it in.
It's got to be an old Nintendo game, I think.
Yeah, I think the last registration card proper I saw was something in a Nintendo DS game that I opened that had a registration thing for the Nintendo Club or whatever, but not a.
Oh no, this is one where you actually register the game. Like, it's like a little postcard, like a little mini postcard, and it was. I think you got like a newsletter or something if you send it in. But anyway, I got one yesterday. Kind of. I got a new old registration card because Prue sent me a copy of Dead or Alive 4 to help him out with the online, and it came in the mail and it was in good shape, and I was looking at it and I was like, oh, registration card, I remember these. And it was kind of fun seeing that, and I was like, oh, I should send it in. I wonder if you can still mail it. I don't know. But then I got thinking, because I think the last time I saw one of those was probably in 2005. I think 2006 was the death of the registration card. Because I have one in Now Dead or Alive 4 and Rockstar Table Tennis, and I think those are the only 2 games on 360 that have them. But I never sent one in. I have them in a lot of my older games, but I never actually mailed one in. I don't know. It was just kind of fun to discover one of those again. Yeah.
So you mailed it in, right? So you think you can get it?
I didn't mail it in. I might. I don't.
You didn't mail it in. Come on.
I want to keep the one I have. I'm thinking about like photocopying it and then mailing in the photocopied one or something, because I'm sure they don't care if it's original. But we'll see. I'm curious to see what would happen.
They might. I bet they're all numbered. Individually numbered.
Yes. You have to do this. To get our newsletter, you have to sit in the original. So that was just kind of a fun little tidbit I wanted to throw in there, because there's a whole new generation of people that won't even know what that is.
Well, I saw you posted in chat the save icon with the disc, and I was like, "What the hell is that?"
The save icon. Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's come back with a little Vivendi and Ubisoft news. Vivendi, and the only real brief, but Vivendi has continued to increase its climb, which they're not making a move to buy out, guys. They're just buying shares for fun. Well, they're actually getting close enough to the threshold of 30%. At 30%, there is a French law, that's where Vivendi is, that you have to make a takeover bid and pursue a controlling stake. Like, that is a French law, and Vivendi is headquartered in France. And so
I think the word it's phrased as a takeover offer. I don't think it's necessarily you're forced to take control of the company. It's that you are forced to make the offer to say we will take over the company.
Yeah, make a formal bid.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, they've climbed up to about 25% right now, 23% voting rights. It's just, it's the slow, inevitable, creeping death that's climbing up. It's just gross. And of course, Ubisoft now, not without its own issues. They just came down. Well, we saw it today that 5 Ubisoft executives got fined for insider trading. Collectively, they each, I think it was $1 million total. And there were 5 of them. They went ahead and so fairness in everything. They are appealing this, but they have been charged and fined. Like, this actually went through. They've been found guilty of selling off shares right before revealing that The Crew and Watch Dogs would be delayed. And guess what? Those delays happened, and the stock dropped dramatically. So the 5 people who are involved saved themselves a lot of money when they knew bad news was coming. So yeah, they got busted.
Sounds a lot like insider trading to me.
That's pretty much the definition, isn't it?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Now, Tarragon, you're saying that Ubisoft's actually supporting their appeal, though.
Yeah, so Ubisoft themselves are actually supporting the appeals and, appealing, obviously, as they're backing their employees in this. So it's interesting. It'll be one to watch. I don't think it's over just yet. They're also arguing that that particular law doesn't apply to them for various reasons. So there's probably a whole bunch of legal jargon going on there that I don't really understand. But yeah, as it stands, yes, they've been fined for insider trading, and
that seems like pretty clear-cut insider trading to me. I don't know how
I'd be
what
curious
magic law doesn't apply to you, but
the thing is, it's insider trading if you are selling off specifically because you know that that's going to happen. But the thing is that maybe they were just actually selling off at that particular point for a completely arbitrary reason. That's the issue there. You can sell your shares. If you have shares, you're allowed to sell the damn things off. It's not like, if you're doing it because you know the stock price is about to tank, that's insider trading, sure. But if you don't know, and I think that was the argument that I read in there, is that a bunch of these people actually didn't have any information about the release dates or what was going to happen with them, but they got fined for the insider trading anyway because it was assumed that they do know. If they didn't know about the release date changes, then there is no insider trading there. So I guess that's the thing. People are allowed to sell their shares if they're a part of the company. It's not immediately insider trading if you just happen to sell your shares off before the stock price tanks. Anyway, so it's a tricky question. Insider trading is also very notoriously difficult to prove. So it will be interesting to see what comes of that, I suppose.
Yeah, I am curious. Now, Yves Guillemot, the owner of, or the CEO of Ubisoft, he actually got a little notoriety, good notoriety this week. Gameinduntry.biz, they released their People of the Year in 2016, their list. So these are just kind of the collection of people in the video games industry who have made an impact this year in 2016. I'm just going to kind of go through the list, a couple of the highlights here. Debbie Bestwick of Team 17. And I was just thinking of kind of all the things that Team 17 has turned into, because I think back of literally they just did Worms, right? Like they started with Worms and now they're become this dark horse publishing studio that has released a whole bunch of really great games recently. And of course they're heading up Ukulele reboot and things that are coming up next year that they're positioned really well for. Yeah,
they're behind Overcooked as well, I think, aren't they? They published Overcooked. And there was actually a game I've been watching for a while, Allison Road, which actually got cancelled and then revived. But yeah, I think that's been the only. Yeah, anyway. Sorry, Crandy?
That was kind of cool.
Did they just do the physical publishing or do they do the digital publishing also for those games?
Digital publishing. They help with the marketing. So they take some of the indie teams who are creating these really great smaller games and they help them distribute digitally, physically, help with their marketing planning and stuff. That's from interviews that I've heard from Team 17. That's what they have kind of positioned themselves as hey, we did all this stuff with Worms by ourselves. We'd love to help you guys because we got all these people in place, and we just want really great games out there. And so that's kind of their angle, which I love. I think that's great, and I'm excited to see them get some credit there. Next on the list, Jonathan Blow. He was, of course, so quiet for so many years after Braid.
8 years between Braid and The Witness.
And The Witness. And so, of course, we can sing the praises of The Witness. You're working on it. It's, widely regarded as just a brilliant puzzle game. I look forward to playing it myself. The company of Firaxis gets credit for this, for releasing both this year XCOM 2 and Civilization 6 came out this year, which industry people are saying are both widely regarded as high water marks for both of those franchises. So collectively, they've done a really great job on that one. Amy and Ryan Green. So these are not household names for most people, but they are the two creators behind the game That Dragon Cancer.
That recently won an award at the Golden Joysticks, I think is the ceremony, the Video Game Awards.
The Game Award, Jeff Keighley's thing, right?
Yeah. So they that game actually won an award. I forget the name of the award, but that was it. Actually prompted me to read up about that particular game, and some pretty emotional.
It's really powerful, and I would like to play it, and play is probably the wrong word, right? I would like to experience it, and that's a heavy one, and especially having kids of my own, and just there's a different level of connection there. I believe. Yeah. As being a parent, I'm a little nervous, but
it sounds
amazing.
The premise of the game, do you have that in front of you?
Not verbatim, but I know what it is.
Yeah, so it's essentially a sort of set of games just exploring the frustrations of having the frustrations of being a parent, I guess, to a child that has a serious form of cancer, and all the various things that go along with that. And so it's a very emotionally draining, I think, would be the way to describe going through the game, and a lot of the helplessness of some of the things that are going on. But it's certainly worth looking at and experiencing.
They've even said in interviews that it's not like, to them, it wasn't like, they didn't want to make money. They didn't want to do, they didn't even really, and I don't want to say it like this, they didn't really enjoy the game, like doing the game. Like it was something for them to stay busy and to help deal with what they were feeling. Like they made it for them and then just shared it with people, kind of thing. And of course, yes, there is money. I mean, it is a product, and they're trying to recoup what they put into it. But ultimately, it was, this is how we as a couple are processing all these emotions that we're going through. We are collectively making this game and working through what we're experiencing. Yeah. Some of that,
I would say, comes through. Feels more like it's an art piece to be sort of understood and explored than it is necessarily a game. And I sort of appreciate that from that aspect. So, and it's, from what I gather, I have not played it myself, but I want to. But it is very powerful from what I've heard.
Yeah, and then next on the list, Yves Guillemot, who I just mentioned, and it's been a tough year for Ubisoft, but they've also positioned themselves really well with, just kickstarting the Assassin's Creed movie franchise. So many games coming out from their standpoint that are both. They've had some really great successes, right? Early Division sales have been really great, and then it's tailed off. Early sales of Rainbow Six Siege has been terrible, and now it's experiencing this renaissance as it continues to grow. They've continued to release really great games after games after games, and yet he's still dealing with the two stories we just talked about, Vivendi losing Gameloft, is that his brother's studio or company?
Yeah, I think it's his brother's.
I think it was his brother. Yeah. So anyway, Yves Guillemot, Jeff Kaplan and Team Overwatch. Now, of course, Overwatch gets the nod here for being just an exquisite game and everything they've put together. But they specifically point out Jeff Kaplan because not only because of Blizzard's just ability to come up with just brilliant, simple, approachable, and brilliantly deep games, but Overwatch spawned from the team that was disbanded when Titan went down. So that game Titan that was in development for 7 years, and they said, this game isn't fun. We're just, and here's a quote from him. I'm trying to think where's the article, but he said, the devastating collapse of Titan, which quote unquote failed horrifically in every way that a project can fail. That is a quote from him. And it's just talking about how they, as a team, rebounded to create Overwatch and just being dejected from putting 7 years of work into a project and then just saying, you know what, this game isn't fun. This thing sucks. Let's just can it. And to rebound with that's a really great story, and it's cool. I like that.
Did that birth Titanfall?
No. Titan and Titanfall suck. Try again. We got a few more here.
Fell.
Niantic on the list. I think that goes without saying. Prue, you still playing Pokemon Go?
Occasionally. I don't know how you would not include them on this list, considering they broke pretty much every app record that you could possibly do.
Pure insanity.
It was amazing bringing people together, even if it was just for a couple of months.
Hey,
I still play it.
In 2 days from recording, 5 days, not 5 days, but 2 days from recording, 3 days from publishing, they will have announced, presumably, this is the big rumor, that the next 100 Pokemon are going to be released into the game. Yep. The Generation 2 Pokemon. So that would be, I guarantee that's going to be a massive boost from their current numbers.
Yeah, I caught a Ditto recently. I caught my Ditto. That was kind of fun.
What was it in disguise with?
Garbage Rattata.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
So if anybody out there who doesn't know, you non-Pokemon goers, Ditto was never, you couldn't find him. And then all of a sudden he started popping up. And the way you do it, and this is brilliant on Niantic's part, is you have to go around and catch all the garbage Pokemon that you like. So garbage Pokemon, meaning like the Weedles, the Pidgeys, the Rattatas, like just the crap you find everywhere that people just stopped catching because they're not rare. They're just dumb. And what ends up happening is you throw your Pokeball at this and it'll say, gotcha. And usually it'll say, Rattata was caught and come up with the whatever scene. Instead it'll go, oh? And all of a sudden it would be, hey, you caught a Ditto. He was disguised as one of your crappy Pokemon. And so people were out there catching things again. Very clever, very clever. I've also heard there's going to come out with some shiny Pokemon here in the near future as well. So,
I haven't heard that rumor, but I mean, I
just saw it on Twitter today.
Shiny.
Yeah, as a Pokemon fan, I mean, shiny Pokemon are literally the end-all be-all of Pokemon collecting. Just saying, they are.
It's like
the shiny.
They're like the foil cards of Pokemon.
They literally are. I mean, I assume that's exactly what that was the idea, was that you would make a normal Pokemon rare in some way.
Yep.
And a rarer Pokemon even more rare. No, shiny Pokemon are actually, they're serious business. If you want to start to get into shiny Pokemon hunting, I tell you what, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, look that up, and it'll blow your mind. The things people go through. Oh my God, there's a video. Wow, this is a little off topic. There's a video of a man who spent, I think, 2 to 3 to 4, I can't remember specifically, years of his life with like 5 or 6 different Game Boy Advances at the time, hunting this one, I can't remember what specific Pokemon it was. He was hunting this one rare shiny Pokemon. And shiny Pokemon are already super rare, but this guy was like the rarest. And he spent these years and years
5
over
years.
multiple.
Is it a Mewtwo? Shiny Mewtwo?
No. It's not a shiny Mewtwo, because that you can kind of, can't remember. I'll have to find the video. You know what? I'll find the video and we can put it in the show notes.
All right.
No,
This
remember, you're in a call with the guy who spent 4 years working on Grok.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm telling you, this was the same level of commitment. This guy literally he for years played with these 4 or 5 different DSs. No, this was before DS, Game Boys, and finally found it, and he freaked out. This is a pretty famous video in the Pokemon community. I'll find it. But anyways, this is serious business. If they introduce shinies into Pokemon Go, it's a big deal. That's all I'm saying. That's all I wanted to say.
Perfect. We got 2 people left. Tim Sweeney makes the list. He actually makes the list for trying to pick a fight with Microsoft. If you guys remember earlier in the year where Microsoft announced their UWP, the Universal Windows platform, and Tim Sweeney was just like, he just went after him for ultimately about not spawning creativity, and just came up with all these things about why the whole system's going to fail. So he makes the list for that. And finally, Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, he makes the list with their just really the whole story about EA flipping around being the consecutive winners of worst company in America or worst company in the world or whatever, to one of the surprisingly awesome companies that are publishing really great games. And their mantra, the "Is it good for the player?" piece. And I think there was the IGN Unfiltered interview with Peter Moore. And they talked about that, the entire mantra of, is it good for the player? They would always ask every decision they made. The first thing they said, is this good for the player? Not is it going to make me more money? Not is it going to sell more copies? Not is it going to, whatever. Is it good for the player? Is the player going to like this? And they really took that to heart and started to come up with some really great initiatives. And I mean, the EA Access, the Vault, they've done a lot more with the community. That this particular article talks about LGBT rights for players and supporting that community, really outspoken on hiring of individuals from all different backgrounds for their companies. So it's really cool to see them take that to heart and say, I don't want to be the worst company in the world anymore. Can we do something right? And they've done some really cool things. And I'm really excited that I called the fact that they were going to start buying, selling or promoting, publishing. There you go. 5th time's a charm. Publishing small little indie developers that I called at E3. I was really happy about that. So it's a cool list. We'll put the list in the show notes if you want to read about all the individuals and links to everything that we've kind of talked about with this. Whew. That was a lot.
Yes.
This is a long ass show. I'm sorry, Tarragon, how you got to edit all this stuff out. Let's why don't we just take this thing home, huh?
Okay.
Let's just finish this thing strong. Knobs and Discos, the home for unobtainable and discontinued achievements. Anything that we got any good news?
We do.
Or bad news? What do we got?
We got one bit of good news. There's unobtainable in Super Hot. Board is now fixed, so that's good. But the bad news is Solar Shifter EX has 2 knobs, 2 unobtainables, Astra La Vista Baby, and OK Maybe a Dent. Actually, sorry, 3, and it's the final countdown. All 3 of those.
Are those the ones for not getting hurt or not getting hit in a level?
Yeah, I think they are, and they're all unobtainable. And
because they're impossible.
Oh, yeah, okay. And there is an unobtainable in NBA 2K17 Art Memories. So we'll see whether that gets fixed or not. It probably will.
Boo. Well, that's too bad. Before we move into our review Zed piece, I want to move Zombie News Corner up because I need Crandy's opinion on this. I've been sitting on this for a little bit. There's a new Walking Dead game coming out. Okay. And of course, now before you get, too defensive about this, right? Walking Dead is everywhere. It's not Survival Instinct. It's not another Telltale. This one is what the hell?
This is a real arcade game. That's in a real arcade cabinet?
This is a real legitimate cabinet shooter. You get a crossbow in this shooter, and I mean it's like House of the Dead on rails shooter type Walking Dead action. Mm-hmm. Did you watch the video?
I'm looking at it right now. Oh, you have ammo?
Well, but then there's also melee weapons too.
What the? Double hammers.
I think it looks so cool.
Okay, so
it's two-player game.
Yeah, I was just thinking, just double hammer.
Yeah, they always are.
Yeah.
Oh, but you sit down. You sit down.
I'm looking at the cabinet, and I'm like, how do you fit 2 players in there? I mean, it doesn't look like a big cabinet. Like some of those.
Oh, this is one of those ones where it's like a mounted turret. I don't like that.
No, it's not. It was a
Yes, it is. Gun. Look at it. No, you don't pick it up. It's mounted to the cabinet. That's why you sit down. You don't stand up. You sit in the cabinet. But
it's all because it just got the cables connecting to it? No.
It's actually I've seen cabinets like this before. It is actually mounted to that, and you just move it around.
Yeah, I see.
But you can't lift it up and aim. Okay, so the idea, good.
It's kind of
I love arcade cabinet shooters. They're so much fun. They're one of my all-time favorite games, and one day when I have a whole bunch of money, I would love to have a Walking Dead cabinet, or not Walking Dead, House of the Dead cabinet in my house, because it is my like, I don't care that they cost $8,000. It's totally worth it, and I would have no issue dropping that kind of money on them because they're so good. There's no experience like that. This misses because that kind of gun is not good. That kind of cabinet is not good for this.
Again, I didn't know that kind of bothers me too.
Again, you guys haven't played it, so don't poop on something you haven't actually played yet.
This game is basically House of the Dead with a mounted turret instead of a gun you hold,
which could be a lot of fun.
It could be.
But I've played games with I've played games with those before, and they're so hard to aim that it's gonna. I don't know. It's going to feel like you're getting attacked more than is fair.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. Having played games like that before and having played a lot of House of the Dead, it's going to make it feel unfair. And that's going to take away from the fun.
Dream cabinet is like a big Buck Hunter ZHD. Where you're out hunting zombies in the woods. That's what I want.
That would be fun. But yeah, I mean, it seems good conceptually. Like, I'm not, obviously The Walking Dead is going to be kind of like the big trendy draw to it. But I think could be, if there were any arcades left in America, I don't know where you're going to find one of these. Like nowhere. Plus, that's probably like a $20,000 arcade cabinet. On top of that, like, who is going to buy one of those? Because there's no arcades that people go to, so you're never going to recover the cost. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, absolutely. But
I think there's going to be like 2 in the country. But I mean, I'd play it. I'd try it.
I'd give it a shot too. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, let's move into Review Zed and wrap up the show. So this week's game, Pure Chess, correct?
Correct.
Because my son just bought Pure Chess on his DS. So he's in 2nd grade right now, and his teacher is all about chess, like just loves chess. And so like the kids, when they're done with their homework or whatever, they can just go play chess. And he has a running leaderboard of how many checkmates the kids get against each other. Uh-huh. And there's like a kid who's got like 25 or something. Like it's super cool.
I'm so bad at chess.
That's incredible. But I assume is this a 3DS that he has?
Yeah.
And I'm just a little confused. I'm sorry. Can you clarify? You can actually play other games other than Pokemon on a 3DS?
Yeah. Although he did make a subfolder on his 3DS of just Pokemon games, and so they're but they're all like the mobile versions, right? He's got like Pokemon Shuffle, Pokemon Arena, Pokemon Rumble,
Pokemon
Yellow. He's stuck on Pokemon Yellow. There's a guy.
Wait, is he going through Sun or Moon?
He will be doing. I have to look at his Christmas gift.
He doesn't
have it yet.
Okay, all right.
He's been holding off till Christmas.
Okay,
So there's a kid there's a guy. He's not even a kid, right? I think he's 22.
That's a kid.
Yeah, well, he's at our gym. He was my wife's sparring partner when they were both going through their little 10-week program. He was really big. He lost like 150 pounds before joining the gym, the kickboxing gym, and then he lost even more. Won the $1,000 for overall. I mean, he's really doing a great job. But like, he's always been heavy and has never, like, his mom didn't want him to do it. His mom didn't want him healthy because she wants to control him, and he like had to move out. Like, he had to leave his family behind just so he can get control of his life. It's a really sad story. And so, you know, he's a developer. He wants to bring his Vive over to my house to show me how the Vive works. I'm like, you know, I could actually just come to your house. Like, you don't need to tear down 2 lighthouses and bring your VR system over. You're not supposed to move those things, right? It's calibrated to the room. Anyway, but so my kids will be at the gym waiting to be either handed off between my wife and I, or they're going to sit and just while we do class. And my son and him are talking Pokemon like crazy. And he showed up and gave my son a map of like Lavender Town. Like, oh, here's how you get through Lavender Town. And here's how, because, you know, my son just doesn't quite get that, how the game works or whatnot. But, and so he's, you know, I'm really stuck on this part right now. Do you think when we go to the gym next, do you think we could ask Pete about what to do next? I'm like, buddy, I literally could look on the internet for you if you really wanted me to. I could look this thing up. But anyway, it's been fun. So no, yes, he does play Pokemon as well, but he's getting into chess, and we bought him a chess board. I mean, he loves chess. They just learned castling this so far.
Oh, important.
Yeah, it's a highly advanced move for a second grader. Anyway, I don't even think I'm very well versed in how castling works. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know the rules about it. Anyway, Review Zed, Pure Chess. Enjoy.
Welcome to this week's Review Zed. I'm here back with our usual host, with Damien.
Hey.
And this week we are talking about Pure Chess.
Purely.
Is pretty much exactly what the title says. It was published by Ripstone, developed by Vufu Studios, and it has an Xbox Live store price of $12.49.
So, you know, actually, and one of the things for me was, okay, how many other chess games are out on even the Xbox 360, right? I don't think there was any other chess games, obviously, for the one, but I was kind of curious to say chess, fairly straightforward, traditional game. Turns out Battle Chess for PC/Xbox 360 is the only chess title I could find.
There's also Chess Master Live.
Oh.
Yeah, that's been long delisted though. And that was an XBLA game. And the other thing, the Battle vs. Chess, that was not released in North America.
Correct.
It was released on PC under a different name, but it was never released on the 360. Now, it is a region-free game, so if you do want to import it, that is an option. But really, Pure Chess right now is in North America. If you want to get something kind of hassle-free, it's basically the only option for chess, and it's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got different kind of... It's chess, so it's chess. Lots of different difficulties, which is good for people like me that suck at chess. I enjoy chess, but I am not good at it.
Yeah, I mean, the Grand Wizard, or what is it? What's the Grandmaster?
Grandmaster, yeah.
Yeah, unless you're using a solver or are a highly competitive chess player, you won't beat that difficulty on your own.
No, but I gave it a try. I think it beat me in 5 turns.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, really suck.
And that was with me trying to win. So, yeah, I'm not very good at chess. And the price, I mean, that seems pretty fair. There is online play, which is super nice. So it's cool with online because you can play in real time. So you have 6 slots for online games, and you can play in real time if both people are there, or you're not forced to play the whole game right in that sitting. So you can kind of step away and come back and play, play a move every time you're on your Xbox or whatever, kind of a Words with Friends style chess game. So it doesn't all have to be done at once. And the 6 slots is nice because you can have 6 games going. If you want to play a lot of online games at once, more than a couple turns a day or whatever, then you can.
And I think that's kind of one of those key things to think about when you're really reviewing a chess game, because when you're really playing chess, not maybe say often, but when you play chess for, like more competitively, games aren't always quick, right? So to think about that ability, that they've actually brokered something into the system that allows it not only to have both players there for the length of the game, but having a way you could come to it, come back, submit a move. So you and I could be playing, but I could just do a move, and then you're given a notification, and then you can get around to it, say, 10 minutes later, an hour later, a day later. So you can take the game's flexible in the amount of time that it requires to do online, which, again, not very complicated to do, but a nice thing to think out, especially if you're sitting there going, wow, games of chess could take a long time. Do I have to sit there the entire time? I think for $12.49 and looking at a lot of the other games that we've been reviewing that don't have any form of multiplayer, the fact that this has both an online real-time multiplayer and a turn-based multiplayer is kind of, nice. It's nice that they developed it in there, and probably good that they did.
The fact that they have multiplayer at all is kind of a nice feat at that price point. You look at games like Overcooked. Overcooked was $20 and is a game built for multiplayer, and it did not even have any online multiplayer at all.
Yep.
So even if it had, only real time or whatever, is a huge feature and a really nice point, especially because, I look back at one of the games that I got really excited and then immediately afterwards disappointed about was Monopoly for Xbox 360. This is like the first one that came out in like 07, 08 or something in that range.
Yep.
And it was a $60 release, retail release. And I saw it at EB Games one time. I was like, wow, that's awesome. Now I can play Monopoly online. Because at this time, I didn't know that there was other options to play Monopoly online at the time. And I thought, that's really cool. I love Monopoly, but no one ever wants to play it with me.
Yep.
So I can play it. And then I look at the back, local only. Well, that just ruined that. So that's, for me, is huge.
Yeah, I think, and the other things to note on it, the graphics are very clean. It is, it's chess. They didn't go crazy with it. They're not doing, for those that have played Battle Chess, they're not, or what's the other one? I'm thinking, not Battle vs. Chess, but I'm thinking Battle Chess, actually.
Yeah, that's the one where it's animated and they can, fight each other and stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything like that. It's just very straightforward. Here are the pieces, that you move them on the board like you normally do, but it's not, they kept it simple. They're not going for anything flashy. They're not going for complex animations. It's just a straight up chess game. Very traditional, has, some background, some decent music for chess playing.
And there's some different pieces you can pick from. So there's a few different sets, a few different styles.
Yeah. It's a solid chess game. If you're, again, though, it comes down to, so 2 things. For a completion, all of it is easily completable, especially against the noob computer or an online player, except for the getting to Grandmaster level. I think you start with 100 XP points. You have to get to 1,000. But there are guides out there for very fast ways to go about doing it. You basically forfeit games on Grandmaster difficulty against AI for when you get up, I think up to 900 some points. And then for the remainder of the games you have to do, I think they said it's about 15 games, just play with the solver. play against the solver on. And for anybody that hasn't ever done that, what you do is you make a first move if you're opening, if you're whites, and then you basically, on the solver, you move where the computer moved, and then you obviously follow what the solver tells you to do for the next move, and obviously the solver should hopefully, fingers crossed, beat the computer. So
yeah, my experience with solvers with Battle versus Chess on PC, even I think they use what's it, the standard like Fritz or something is like the super smart chess computer. The solver can still beat that on the highest difficulty. So it doesn't, I think sometimes it won't, but give it a couple tries. And I don't imagine this one is going to be that hard. The one on Battle versus Chess was like really high up there for difficulty. But the one thing with the online that I do kind of wish they had is, and this is kind of a picky criticism, would be to have a game that you have to play in real time. So if you really want to sit down and play a game online and you want to play a full game where you have your kind of passive lobbies.
Yep.
That you can play actively if you're both there, or walk away whenever you feel like it. But then you also have one where you have to stay for the whole game. So both of you have to be there. If one person leaves, then they forfeit. The typical kind of online play.
Or kind of like where I think of in New York where they do those like you go to those places where they have all the chess tables and the people are playing with timers, right? Where it's a time.
Yeah.
Like that.
Which I think that's standard for competitive stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's where if they had that built in, that would have been, just another, I think, on top to make it even more realistic. But I think if you're playing chess at those levels, you probably already have people that you're playing with. So
yeah, or you're probably playing on something like chess.com that lots of people play.
Yeah, that's going to be the only, downfall of this is, yeah, you can play online, but you're going to have somebody that's also invested in this game, that it's sit there and gone, oh man, the one thing I really want for the Xbox, I need to play chess. I need to get my chess on, which I don't know if the online community will ever be strong for online chess.
I got a match right away.
Yeah. So it's out there. There are people out there, but it's new. Who knows? It's like every other multiplayer, though, for Xbox, right? Try 2 years from now. Is anybody playing it?
You never know. I don't know. It's hit and miss, but we'll see. Then the other mode that's a nice addition is challenge mode, where you're kind of given scenarios. Like I played one that was you have to checkmate in one move. So you have to find the one move on this chessboard that's in. It's not obviously not a standard first turn set, but it's a scenario that's been made where you have to win in a certain number of moves. And I think they had 1 move, 2 moves, 3 moves, and 5 moves or something. But those are fun. I like that in Battle versus Chess as well. It kind of gave you a little more than just the typical single player experience.
Yeah.
So with that, do you have any closing comments?
No, I think, again, the big things for me is it's a solid chess game. If you're looking for chess, if you're a really big fan of chess, I think you can't go wrong with this. I will note that it was used during the G-Task finals from Redemption to part of his fast completions towards the end, so it does net you a fair amount of gamer score, but it's chess. It's nothing earth-shattering, so in terms of a $13 price point, if you're not just literally spending money for gamer score and are not a fan of chess, again, would you go out to Toys R Us and go buy a chessboard for $10 if you hate chess?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, but again, if you like chess, it's a solid play on it. It's got some nice online. It's a good
price. I think the price point's pretty fair. It's very polished.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I recommend it. If you're looking for chess, you can't go wrong with pure chess.
Nope. The name is exactly what you get.
Yep. Go check.
Right.
Just chess. Well,
Thanks for joining me, and we will be back next week as usual.
Well, that'll do it for another show. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. We loved recording it. Thank you so much for being a part of our last year worth of episodes. It's been such a great trip. Next episode, I think it's next episode, maybe the following. Anyway, in the near future, Tarragon and I are going to have a show where we talk about all the awesome things that we've done over the past year, the highs, the lows, kind of upcoming things for 2017, both gaming and show related. So look forward to that. It'll be great. If you, our listeners, could help us out, continue to spread the word. You guys do an awesome job on Twitter, Facebook, wherever, all your social media accounts. Let friends know about it. The more people who can hear about the show, the more we can entertain and do more community type things. It is great. One free way to support the show is leaving us a rating on iTunes or whatever podcast app you're listening to. I guess Google Play doesn't let you do. I don't know. Anyway, leaving a review for us is fantastic. It helps people know about the show, that you like it, that it's entertaining, good sound quality, whatever. It's so greatly appreciated. So thank you very much if you have left one. Of course, you can come to our website, z2z.com. There you can find show notes, credits, links to anything we've talked about, the game you guys need to play, 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck. Try your best at taking those monsters down. Anything that we talk about on the show is there. So you guys should go check it out. It's a great resource. Of course, contacting us at Twitter, one of the easiest ways, most direct and fastest. That's at ZZZEDTOZED. If you don't want it out in the world, you can send us an email, contact@ZZZ.com. We've got a leaderboard at True Achievements. We've got our forums where you can sign up for any of our contests, the random to-do list, gamertag challenges, the community events, and all of those have prizes associated with them. Keep your eyes out for my upcoming contest for 2017. We've got, of course, the completions contest, which will be launching soon. And I'm going to switch over, I think, some of the community contests to more general contests, not just complete certain games in a series, but more of kind of events. And so keep your eyes out for that. Of course, I want to give a big thanks to all of the sites and tools that help us make this show possible. Libsyn, Discord, Trello, Twitter, Discourse, and Zencaster, and Skype. So thank you for providing tools to make this show. A shout out to all the sites and games media locations out there that help us create this and make Achievement Hunter reality. You guys are awesome. Thanks for doing all the legwork. Of course, we owe so much to TrueAchievements.com and any other achievement dedication site or individual. You guys are fantastic, but we use a lot of TA here. And of course, I want to thank Microsoft for the Xbox console. So, on behalf of Damien, Crandy, Prue, Tarragon, this has been Brandon, and to all you achievement hunters and gamerscore junkies out there, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next episode. What the hell do I have here? All right.
No soundboard, unfortunately.
Well,
oh, that is disappointing.
Well, I can do the soundboard. I just have to tell you when I do the soundboard. Otherwise, you won't.
Yeah.
It's like
drum roll.
rare achievement sound. End of rare achievement sound.
Rain. Dramatic piano.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Okay. Done.
You should.
Don't say that. No. It'd be like double intro. I don't want to do a double intro. So
Yeah, that seems overkill.
Double
it
intro.
does. It seems crazy.
Yeah. Double intro.
What was that? Oh, no, sorry.
What?
Cruising USA. It sounded
Yes.
like. Anyways, is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my god.
See if you can download it, Brew.
That video is great.
What, the kangaroo punch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Apparently that was actually a zookeeper. He just came up and just...
I love the look on the kangaroo's face. He's like,
What
Yeah, he's like,
the
what the hell, dude? You kidding me?
and does that file actually produce anything when you click on it, Prue?
I'm just clicking on my name here, and I don't have the option to.
Like, on your recording page under solo tracks, you don't see Prue?
I don't. You're talking about in Zencaster, right?
Like in this page that you're looking at for Zencast. I'm just laughing at Freem laughing.
Yes, yeah.
It's the greatest.
I can't believe you haven't seen this. This is super popular. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I just see
kangaroo's face. I mean,
he's just like, what the dude?
he just stands there and he's got his hands kind of up, like, are you fucking kidding me? You just punched me in the face. What the hell, dude?